And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Ultimate Dirt TV for tonight's first annual Shaun Timmerman Memorial. Brett Wheeler joined alongside Drake York. Drake, welcome to Ultimate Dirt TV. Buddy, it's been a long time since we've had you on the feed, but boy, I tell you what, we're glad to have you back.
It's awesome to be back on the feed, Brent. And you mentioned it, the first annual Shaun Timmerman Memorial. Of course, the community losing Shaun pretty recently. A cool deal between not only a selected group of iRacers, but pretty much the entire dirt community coming together to put on this first annual race. And not much better venue you could go for the Eldora Speedway. So much history here. Not only so much history, but it puts on a banger race every time we're here, Brett.
Yeah, it certainly does, and one of Shaun's favourite racetrack to race here on the iRacing.com service. We get ready for heat race number 3. We'll just see if the pace car is going to move down to the infield or not, or whether we're going to pace around. So we'll quickly go through the grids for heat race number 3. Logan Rumsey and John Helms will be on the front row. Row number 2 is going to be Jason Haynes and Cole Croft. We go back to the third row, it'll be Matthew Croquis and Kyle Sargent. Then we go back to row 4, Robert Satterfield alongside Aiden Price. And your fifth and final row will be Cole Ferguson in the 81 and the 48 of Donald Blackburn. 10 laps are the distances for the heat races. Then it's preliminary main. We're from the C main to the B main, and then the 30-lap prelim main event before, again, after this prelim main event, we've still got another whole server to go to, which will happen probably about 45 minutes after that one. But Drake, heat number 1, heat number 3, I should say, underway.
Heat 1, Heat 3 doesn't really matter. Rumsey out to the earlier race lead. As you said, Brett, everybody trying to position themselves for a good spot in tonight's prelim feature event before we go into the first annual Shaun Timmerman Memorial. Logan Rumsey leads lap number 1 over Cole Croft.
Croft leading the way, Rumsey leading the way over Croft. Then you go back to Haynes, Satterfield, and Aiden Price. Top 5 from this one will go directly into the prelim main event. But right now, it is Aiden Price who holds on to that fifth and final transfer position.
Yeah, Aiden Price with that all-coveted spot, and he's not out of the weeds just yet. As here comes Matthew Crook and Brett. Right now, I'm sure you're noticing the same thing I am. The track is super green right now. It almost really works whatever line you decide to run. As Price dips down to the bottom side, Crook, he may have a big run down the backstretch here for that fifth and final transfer spot.
Satterfield all over the back of Jason Haynes. They work down into turn 3 and 4, but Logan Rumsey continuing to lead the way here in heat race number 3.
And you watch Satterfield try to get some clean air on the front wing of that 55 as he works to the inside of Jason Haynes off at turn number 2. And Brent, we talked about the racetrack, bad fast anywhere you go. Oh, as one car into the wall, that looked like Aiden Price, so he falls out of the fifth and final transfer spot. Matthew Crook now into the 5th position.
Matthew Crook will take a look on board. You've got 2 different screens happening right now. Bottom right-hand corner is the battle for the race lead. Meanwhile, you've got a battle on to the final transfer spot. It is right now on for young and old as you battle for the lead. Logan Rumsey continues to lead the way right there over Cole Croft. Meanwhile, up on the top left of the screen, here comes Robert Satterfield once again. Nearly getting into the side of Jason Haynes off turn number 4, 2 to run.
Yeah, Satterfield looked low right there, and we talk about trying to get that clean air on that front wing. Can be difficult to do here at the Big E, even though the track is so green all over the racetrack. As we click off another lap, 1 lap to go, in fact, now, Brent.
Yeah, 2 left-hand turns for Logan Rumsey to come down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Off the corner, number 4, checkered flag is out. Logan Rumsey gets the win here in heat race number 3. Take a look at those results here in just a few moments' time. In fact, let's do this because we need to get our right camera angles first.
I don't know if you caught it off of turn number 4 there, Brett, but Logan Rumsey got pretty high over in turn number 4 and actually wall rode all the way to the checkered flag. Nonetheless, he gets the win in heat race number 3. Cole Croft was 2nd, Jason Haynes 3rd, Robert Satterfield 4th, and Matthew Crook, your 5th and final transfer out of heat 3. Donald Blackburn, Kyle Sargent, John Helms, Aiden Price, and Cole Ferguson will be sorted out in the lower feature events.
All right, tell you what, Drake, you can lead us to the green and lead us through the grid here at heat race number 4.
On the inside of row number 1 is Ashton Mueller. To Mueller's outside will be Peyton Burden in that white number 14 machine. As we move back to row number 2.
Yep, hang on. I was doing 14 other different things.
Yeah, Brett's a busy guy. Jared Lieber and Jeff Kramer, row number 2. And then back on the third row, Jason Waller in car 97, and the number 4, I believe that's one of the Shaun Timmerman tribute cars. Wade Fields and Larry Moody back in row number 4, and should be the 5th and final row. I think we only have 4 rows, Brett.
I think we had another row, but we're already green, so we might as well go into the action. As again, we'll actually have a 3-man booth later on. We're actually going to have Stephen Milne join us. But look at these 3-wide battles. Talking about 3s. Here comes the 97 down to the inside. Then it's going to be Jason Moore. He'll get to position number 4. Meanwhile, Wade Fields is now looking to move into position number 5 in that 71 machine.
Action aplenty. Fields going to take the air off the front wing of the 32 machine. Liebert now back to the inside, trying to get back into the starting field for tonight's Prelim feature event. Meanwhile, Brett, they're 3 wide back behind.
Yeah, I was just going to say we're about to do something very, very cool here in a moment. We're just trying to get the right camera angle here on this screen. We're about to see 2 different onboard shots right now. Something that has never been done before here with us here at Ultimate Dirt today. Look at this. These are 2 totally different race cars. You're watching up the back of the back of the Wade Fields machine, and just a couple of cars behind. In fact, a car behind him, and that's going to be Gavin Chatham as well.
Yeah, even though we do talk about this as sim racing and can be quite different from reality, the intensity is still about there. I mean, no one is out of the weeds just yet. And look how close it is on the top left there, Brett, as they dive into one.
You see one on the front, one on the back. These are actually the 2 cars that you are watching battle for that 5th and final transfer position. We've got 3 to 1 right now for Ashton Miller. Meanwhile, you can see Gavin Chatham. He went to the top side down into turn number 1, off for turn number 2. He's now going to cut it back down to the inside. Your race for the transfer spot is on.
Off at turn number 4, 2 to run here at the Big E in heat race number 4, and it's still hotly contested for that 5th and final transfer spot between Chatham and Fields. Chatham able to get a couple of car length advantage as they turn for the white off at turn number 4.
White flag is out right now for Ashton Miller. You're seeing already down into turn number 3, Peyton Burton, Ashton Miller. In fact, it's going to be Peyton Burton who gets the win here in heat race number 4. This is the 4th and final heat race of the evening. Now, this is the last prelim that we will have as well. So after this, we'll have a C main, a B main, and then we'll have the main event. So after this prelim A main event, we're going to take a break for around 45 minutes to an hour. In fact, while we're doing that, we will, of course, we'll play some tribute videos that have been sent through to us by some of the members of the iRacing community. There'll be a 20-minute chat between David Allen and Tim Smith. Again, that'll all get played, and it'll just give you an indication of what Shaun was like as a human being. Now, to the people who were close to him and knew him a lot, it's such a sad time as to why we're here, but at the same time, Drake, we've got to remember why we're here, and we've got to honour the life of what Shaun Timmerman was.
And you mentioned it, too, at the top of the show, Brett. Eldora, one of his favorite racetracks. I couldn't think of a more fitting racetrack to have his race at as we move now into the C-Main with Tanner Butler on the inside of row number 1, Mike Keegan to the outside in that beautiful number X machine, 25 of Taylor Wineland, and Aiden Price, who Price was in a transfer spot in his heat race, unfortunately had problems. He got knocked out. Same can be said for Jarrett Lieber. He's going to start in the 5th position, and to his outside is Chris Skabske. Row number 4 will be Steven Fernberg and Cole Ferguson in the 81. Moving back to row number 5, the 73 of Larry Moody, and the 67 of Stephen Waller. And rounding out the field in the 11th starting spot will be Jay Barker. Brent, we could see a super run in this prelim main. We can't promise a super run, but the nice thing about having a big field like this one tonight, even for just the prelim, is that there's a possibility we could see a super run. Aiden Price, we've seen him on the servers with the Pro Series and the Apex Series the last couple of years. He has already shown he's got speed in that race car tonight. Question is, can he first not only make it out of the C main, but through the B into the A of tonight's prelim feature event? We're about to find out if he or somebody else can do it.
Well, like I said, time will tell. And right now, the time right now is about to happen as we get ready for the first C main, or the final C main on the program. It'll be 12 laps. Now it's only going to be one person going through the back of the B main, so you're either in it or you're out. And if you're not out, if you're not in it right now with what is going to be 8 cars on the racetrack, problems there for Mike Keegan. Keegan going to go around. If you're not going to win this one, well, Shaun Timmerman Memorial is over.
Kind of like the Gateway win and you're in that we saw from the Gateway Dirt Nationals. Wineland now moves into the one and only transfer spot. Butler in that Shaun Timmerman number 4 throws a slider, tries to get the spot back. Wineland back to the inside. As you said, Brett, it's all or nothing here in tonight's C main.
C main action on the program. Final prelim server right now. Taylor Wineland leads over Tanner Butler, Stephen Fernberg, Chris Larry Moody, backed up by Jay Barker, the 6th and final car on the racetrack. There's Butler right now on the outside looking in. He'll smack the concrete wall on the exit of turn number 2. And, Drake, I don't know if these guys know, but I tell you what, the walls, they did not move. Oh,
not at Eldora, that's for sure. And credit to Butler, he's doing everything he can. There's really no point in running 2nd, 3rd, or 4th. Sevsky and Fernberg battle hard into 3 and 4. That 29 machine, one of the few cars, if not the only car we've seen since we've went on the air, trying to work the middle side of the speedway here at Eldora.
I tell you what, it is on right now. Here comes, the battle is on for 2nd and 3rd. Problems for Smaskane. Butler made contact on for turn number 4. Meanwhile, Wineland, oh boy, problems as Stephen Fernberg, he's going to be faced the wrong way. Now there were no yellows in this consolation race, so with Taylor Wineland, he's got about a 2-second lead at the minute. You can pretty much, as long as he's got enough fuel in, Drake, you can pretty much lock him into the B main.
Yeah, we've seen in the past how close some of these pros like to run their fuel. Doesn't matter if it's a heat race or a C main, but hopefully for Wineland's sake, there's enough fuel aboard that beautiful number 25 machine as he hustles up the back straightaway with only a couple more to run, Brent.
A couple more to run right now for the 25 car of Taylor Wineland. Got a 1.8 second lead over Tanner Butler. Larry Moody 3.8 seconds away from your race leader, Jay Barker, in 4th position. That is the 4 cars at the moment that are left on the racing surface here in the C main, the first annual inaugural running of the Shaun Timmerman Memorial race. He arrived from the virtual Eldora Speedway. You get a real good look at this race car. Look at the top of this car. You know what? I love to do sometimes. Oh, I get the right camera angle.
Brent's working all the buttons tonight. Look at that. That's a beautiful race car for Shaun. Oh, yeah. The Slide Jobs daily logo. Nothing much better than that.
You know, I think we can just watch this for the rest of the race. I'd be content with that.
I think a lot of people would be.
Yeah. It's funny enough to check its flags out anyway. So we're going to be done for the C main, but there we go. C main done and dusted. We'll go through the results. They'll come up on screen. Taylor Wineland is going to be victorious by 2.1 seconds over Tanner Butler, Moody, Barker, Sebeske, Fernberg, and Ferguson and Keegan. That was the 8 cars to take to the racetrack. Quickly go through your B main lineup, which will consist of 15, make that 14 laps, and the top 10 are going to go through, and there'll be 12 cars to contest this one. Cody Hillman and Gunnar Harris will make up the front row. Row number 2 going to be Donald Blackburn and Wade Fields. Row number 3 it'll be Tyler Lucy and Jonathan Paquette. Then we go back to row number 4, inside and outside, Kyle Sargent. Inside, Ryan LePage. On the outside in the 88 machine. 5th row, Michael Farron alongside Brandon Crump. And then your 6th and final row, John Helms and Taylor Wineland, your C main winner. He's the only one, Drake, that can make a run out at the alphabet soup.
Well, Brett, side note here, I'm very mad you showed that snack bar. I'm missing my Eldora chicken wings. That was a cruel, sick joke you played right there on a guy who just misses his chicken wings from Eldora. But hopefully this B main should, I guess, satisfy the hunger right here. But so we talk about a lot of good cars.
Right next to me.
Oh, there you go. Oh, man, I've got nothing with me. I got a bottle of water. Oh, enough about food. The B-main's underway. Green flag is out with Cody Hillman leading the charge through 1 and 2. Big run for Gunnar Harrison, that black and teal 54. He's going to dive to the inside of turn number 3. We're going to have a new leader off of 4.
Gunnar Harrison lead lap number 1, still 13 to run. Meanwhile, good battle right now going on for what is 3rd and 4th position. It's going to be Donald Blackburn in the 48. When you go back to Wayne Field, Wayne Field's had a memorable run, or a very entertaining run, I should say, with Gavin Chatham in in that fourth and final heat race of the night, where Chatham was able to get that final transfer spot, sending Wade Fields to a B main. And right now he's got himself in a transfer spot, the top 10 of the magic number right now. So 2 cars unfortunately miss out.
Yeah, everybody right now running for a starting position in tonight's feature event, or at least the cars you see on your screen. Jonathan Paquette with a nice move into the 4th spot. If I'm not mistaken, he just moved out here to the Midwest in that JST number 48. As another move to the inside of Fields. Helms tries to get through. Big run on the outside. Another one of those Shaun Timmerman tribute cars up to the front. I believe that's Michael Farron, if I'm not mistaken, Brett.
Yeah, Michael Farron in the, wait, that 4 car right there, that is Jonathan, that's in fact John Helms.
John Helms, excuse me.
Yeah, John Helms, there he is coming from the outside, but the inside from the top to the bottom, nearly 3 wide down the front straightaway. Now big slider there on Donald Blackburn. Blackburn gets into the back. Now here comes Jonathan Paquette. Look at this battle on. But right now, what is 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th position. Brendan Crump is the last car in this one. Is 7-car pack right now.
Yeah, this looks more like a plate race at Daytona or Talladega. Contact as Helms and Paquette get together. That opens up the door for about everybody else and their mother behind. As holy smokes, Brett, I don't know where to look at about this 7-car battle for the 4th spot off at turn number 2. John Helms, excuse me, for the 3rd spot. Helms now up into the 3rd spot in that Timmerman number 4.
John Helms has had to work his way forward in this B main. Watching Michael Farron work to the top side of the racetrack. Down the back straightaway. He's in the 22 machine trying to run down Jonathan Paquette, but he's got Taylor Wyman. Wyman's got the outfit soup happening run at the moment. Wyman has got Brandon Crump now to the inside off the turn number 2. Crump will move himself to position number 6.
And while we talk about drivers making a soup run, currently the 10th and final transfer is the 71 of Wade Fields. He has dropped back, trying to hang on over Tyler Luce in the 3. As still absolute madness everywhere on the Speedway. Wineland, now one of the first cars on the inside of the Speedway, trying to get that lower line work as the track starts to slick off.
Really starting to slick it up here with what is a lap and a half to go. Problems for Jonathan Paquette. He's around. He's going to go outside the transfer position. Meanwhile, up front of the field, white flag is out right now for Gunnar Harris. He's already down the race straight away. Look at the big lead. He's got nearly 3.5 seconds as he works into turn number 3 off the turn number 4. Checkered flag is out. Gunnar Harris gets the win. Cody Hillman coming in second spot. John Hillman's fourth. He's going to go to one. Going to round out your top line. Taylor Wyman home in 6th position. He'll do the alphabet soup run here tonight. Then we go back to Donald Blackburn's 7th. Kyle Sargent in 8th. Let's take a look at your B main results coming up on screen. Here they are. Sargent in 8th, Wade Fields 9th, and Tyler Lucy will get the 10th and final transfer position. Hey, just want to give a quick shout out to everybody. Now, this is what I was just handed to me, or what was sent to me. Now, let's see if I can take a look at the watch party that is going on. That is just one.
Oh, that's so good to see.
That's not all. There's another one coming. There it is. Everybody gathering around to watch the first annual Shaun Timmerman Memorial. And you can take a look. You have a look at where that photo, when that photo was taken. Just take a look at to the right hand of the screen where we're looking up the back. That was the battle between Cam and Chatham.
There you go. It's even timestamped for us. We can track down exactly when this is taken. So good to see the whole family gathering around to watch the race. And again, just such a cool deal put on by everybody in the dirt racing community here on iRacing to not only honor Shaun, but to have this race in his honor at one of his favorite racetracks on the service. And obviously a cool deal back to front.
Certainly is. Well, let's take a look at your starting lineup for what is going to be now. Take a look at this one. Not the fried pickles, the fried veggies. 30 cars getting set to do battle here in the prelim. Tim Ryan and Tanner Pettit will make up row number 1. Drake, who's on row number 2?
Well, as we slide back to row number 2, Logan Rumsey to the inside in car number 41, and 2 is outside the 14 of Peyton Burden.
Row 3 going to be D. Keefe, Damien Keefe out of position number 5, and Rylan Gray lines up the 06 machine from position number 6.
We move back further to row number 4, starting 7th at 29 of Cole Croft, and 2 is outside the number 5 of Ashton Mueller.
5th row inside and outside from position number 9. It'll be the 24 car of Dylan Ayler, and Brian Oliver lines up the 10 machine from position number 10.
Sliding back to row number 6 in the 11th spot, that's Jason Haynes in the 66, and Haynes is outside Jeff Kramer in the 11.
Dustin Sargent lines up at position number 13. The 51 of Robert Boggs will line up to he's outside from position number 14.
Starting back in 15th, the 55 of Robert Satterfield, and 2 is outside. Starting 16th, the 97 of Jason Waller.
17th is going to be Jared Colwitson, and 18th will be Austin Halsey.
And moving back to starting spot number 19, that's Matthew Croak in number 2, and 2 is outside, rolling off from P20, the 24 of Gavin Chatham.
Then we've got our B-main winner and B-main transferees. I'll quickly run through that because we're 1 to green. Gunnar Harris and Cody Hillman will make up row number 11. Row 12, John Helms, Michael Farron. Row 13, Brandon Crump and Taylor Wyman from the C-main. Row 14, yes, you heard that right, Donald Blackburn and Kyle Sargent. And row 15, Wade Fields and Tyler Lucy. We get set for the final prelim here of the first day running of the Shaun Timmerman. We are green flag racing. Tim Ryan is going to lead the field down into turn number 1.
Rumsey and Pettit still sorting it out for second as they dive into turn number 3. Rumsey with the big turn 3 slider doesn't clear up as Pettit gets into the fence off in turn number 4. Tim Ryan leads lap number 1.
Ryan first, inaugural winner of the iRacing World of Outlaws World Championship here on the iRacing.com service some 6-7 years ago, I think it was, back in 2017 or 18 when I got it right. But either way, it is Tim Ryan leading the way from Tanner Pettit. Meanwhile, Peyton Burton putting the moves to the outside there on Logan Rumsey. Rumsey working back to the inside off the turn number 4, but still Tim Ryan continues to lead this race.
Well, Rumsey caught a lot of concrete there in turns 1 and 2. He gathers it back in. We stay green. Meanwhile, yellow here on lap number 3. See who the culprit is. Boggs looked like he had a lot of damage as we take a look here at the replay. Oh my goodness, it was a big stack up in front of Boggs. Boggs was kind of left nowhere to go there, Brett.
How micro sprints are made.
Exactly. Well, unlike the lower mains and heat race action here at the Shaun Timmerman Memorial, there is yellow flags, so that's going to stack up the field. You talked about Tim Ryan, one of the all-time veterans of the iRacing service here when it comes to winged 410 sprint cars. Tanner Pettit back behind him in one of the many Speed Shop 51 cars we'll see over the course of the night here at the Eldora Speedway. There you're riding on board with Tanner Pettit on the bottom right of your screen, as should be getting the 1 to go here pretty soon, Brett.
Yes, I think they're probably looking at 2 to green at the moment. Let me just get a good look at the front of the pace car. I can't see whether the pace car has got its lights on. I don't think it does. No, I think we're getting ready. Oh, I think we're getting ready to go green, actually, off turn number 4. So Tim Ryan is going to lead us back to the green flag. We've still got 26 laps left to run. Pace car is going to take the left-hand turn infield, which means Tim Ryan, he will have control of the field. We're back to green, Drake.
Tim Ryan with a good start off at turn number 4. Pettit trails by about 3 car lengths as they go into turns 1 and 2. Rumsey, meanwhile, back to the inside of Peyton Burton for that 3rd spot, but it's Tim Ryan down the backstretch in a 3.
Ryan has opened up a good 3 tenths of a second lead right now. Miller! There was a right rear there from Ryland Gray there. And Miller slowing on the back stretch down to the turn and freed up the top side of the racetrack. And because that car is really broken, he somehow done well to get that car back into the pits without causing a yellow.
Impressive job by Miller. It looked like the right front was down and knocked all sorts of ways around. So good on Mueller to keep this race green, but that's definitely going to hurt Mueller's chances for the Shaun Timmerman Memorial. Meanwhile, you're looking at Tanner Pettit currently running in that second spot. The high side, it definitely is the place to be, but Logan Rumsey, I saw him looking low off of turn before that. He is not content to ride around and follow Tanner Pettit for the second spot. He wants it.
Well, he certainly does. Continue to watch these battles will happen all throughout the field. A lot of the drivers that we're seeing. Eldora fashion training, we're seeing a lot of the drivers on the top of the racetrack, coming to 20 to go. So 10 down here in the final prelim, serve of the 66 machine there. Oh, but Jason Haynes. Satterfield goes to the inside. Satterfield down the line, he'll drive low down into one with Haynes. He's got to be careful because a couple of times he's actually got the concrete all the back straight away.
Yeah, this is the race for the 8th spot right here, as you said, between Haynes and Satterfield, and the top side definitely the place to be, but the track's starting to widen out a little bit as we go yellow now with 19 laps to run.
Is someone missing a top wing, or was I just... My eyes are deceiving me. I did see someone missing the top wing, that is Blackburn. Let's see.
No contact there. I believe that's Jason Waller was the car that went over. But yes, Blackburn definitely had a role to play in that. See if we can get another look at it here. But tough break for Waller. That was a pretty good hit to the turn 2 wall. See Waller with the slider. Just barely tags the front end of Blackburn, and over goes the 97. One more look at it here a little bit closer. Yeah, just not 100% clear there. And the way that Eldora works, Brent, as you know too, things get tight and inches are worth a lot at this racetrack, and just unfortunately not able to fully clear Blackburn. As there you see the 25 of Wineland, who super runner tonight, started all the way in the C main, which was basically a win you're in race. Wineland able to win the C, transferred through the B, and now finds that red and black 25 in the feature event as we're back under green flag racing.
Yeah, I think there's problems there for Tim Ryan. I don't know where Tim's gone, but I say it's some real issues there for Tim Ryan. So that's going to give Tanner Pettit the race lead, and that's why he took off in a hurry. Here comes Logan Rumsey, so now the battle is on for the lead as they work down into turn 1.
Rumsey slides across the groove, clears Pettit. Pettit with a run back to the inside. He's going to retake the lead down the backstretch into 3 and 4. Tanner Pettit going to click off another lap. Now 16 to go.
Just looking at the stuff here on the other monitor. Tim Ryan has had some sort of issues to where that he's actually going. He won't be able to participate in this race anymore. So Tim Ryan, unfortunately, after leading what was the, really, we can almost say that what should have been the first half of the race, well, he's going to be out of this one, so he's not going to be able, he won't be able to contest the Shaun Timmerman Memorial race anymore.
Yeah, that's a tough break for Tim Ryan. We talked about the inaugural World of Outlaws champion on iRacing, and Brent, you know all too well that internet can be the culprit of a lot of things. Obviously, we don't know 100% what's happened to Tim Ryan, but nonetheless, tough break. He was well in control of that race, could get away from Pettit and Rumsey on those restarts, and as you said, won't even have a chance to finish off the prelim race, much less the feature event coming up later tonight.
No, certainly won't. Again, we'll take a look at the race leader there, Shaun. Who are we at? Tanner Pettit. I was actually looking at the Shaun Timmerman Memorial, the logo there on the bottom left of your screen, but let's say Logan Rumsey, now these two drivers in the current World of Outlaws Thrustmaster World Championships here on the iRacing circuit in what would have been Shaun's second World Championship competition, but come back to the green here in the prelim with what is 15 down and 15 to go. Here comes Rumsey diving out of the inside. Big slider for the race lead, but the yellow is going to come out just as it starts to get good once again at the front of the field. Unfortunately, it is going to take us back to the yellow.
Well, Tanner Pettit now knows he's got another slider waiting on him at some point on this restart. And both these drivers, well-respected racers in the real world in their own right. Pettit, a veteran of the Outlaw Kart ranks, and Logan Rumsey has definitely made a name for himself out on the East Coast with the micro ranks. So West Coast and East Coast going at it here of the United States for the final prelim feature event here, the Shaun Timmerman Memorial at the Eldora Speedway. But that was very impressive what Logan Rumsey was able to do on that restart. I mean, he was able to trail Pettit pretty closely all the way through 1 and 2. And Brent, as soon as he got to the backstretch, everybody knew what he was doing. He threw a big bomb, and Tanner Pettit was waiting on it. We'll see if Pettit maybe changes up the game plan, blocks, or runs a different line on this restart. We're about to find out here, as we should be going green either this time by or next time by.
We'll be going green next time by, and you're just talking about, you know, Tanner Pettit and Logan Rumsey and what they've been able to accomplish in the real world. 358 Sprint Car most improved driver Logan Rumsey at Lincoln Speedway just this past season. So Rumsey doing it in, like I said, in the real world, but he's a very accomplished racer, and I'm going to put him in one of the top 5 drivers in all of iRacing here on the dirt side of things, because no matter what he gets his backside in, whether it's a late model, a modified, a street stock, a sprint car, you bet your bottom dollar that Alpha Industries number 41 machine is going to be at the front of the field.
Tanner Pettit in the Speed Shop 51 car brings him back. We'll see what Rumsey has up his sleeve. Where does Pettit go in turns 1 and 2? They both go to the high side down in 1 and 2. Both kind of diamond it off the corner and up the back straightaway. Does Rumsey have a run? No, he follows the 24 to the top side at 3 and 4.
Boy, too, look at the run that he got off turn number 4. Now here comes a slider for the race lead. 13 to go. Rumsey, Pettit turns it back underneath. Rumsey up for turn number 2. Here comes Rumsey. 2 slide jumps. I tell you what, Timmy, Shaun, he'd be loving this right now because slide jumps have been happening.
Pettit back to the inside. He's going to clear up the racetrack in front of Rumsey. Rumsey again running that diamond line. Does Pettit block here into 3? No, he gives Rumsey the bottom, and Rumsey clears him by a country mile. Does Pettit have enough to turn back under? He gets to the left rear. Pettit throws a slider in 1 and 2. He's got it back.
Pettit, Rumsey once again to the inside, down to the low side of turn number 3, off for turn number 4, he's right up near the concrete wall, and now Tanner Pettit, it's now his turn to make it from the slider, only 10 laps left to run, he tucked in line behind the 41 car, still it is Logan Rumsey leading the way here in the final prelim before the big one, the big server to come after this one. Rumsey almost jumped the cushion there on the exit of turn number 4, that allowed Tanner Pettit to close in, meanwhile Damien Keefe and Peyton Burton, they're going at it for 4th and 5th position. How about Gunnar Harris as well from the B main position number 21? He's now up into position number 4, and Harris is on the move.
Oh, Pettit caught the wall big time there off at turn number 4, and that's going to allow Rumsey to pull away from the 24. This battle, meanwhile, happening about a second and a half in front of everyone else. These two cars definitely the class of the field. Pettit wall rides again off of 4.
Now look at this, there's your race leader top left of the screen. Now the battle is on. There is 4th and 5th position. Gunnar Harris down to the inside. In fact, he'll throw the slide job there, 1 car into the wall. I think that may have been either Peyton Burton who just got into the wall. Now Damien Keefer, he might have some company as well. Boy, I tell you what, Gunnar Harris, he is making it work on the low side.
Gunnar Harris, the only car down on the bottom side of the speedway making moves, won the B main event by a comfortable margin, and now he's going after a podium spot off of turn number 2.
Kiefer may have some company here in a few moments. Time and again, Harris to the inside. Kiefer in the DQ speed, number 14 machine. In fact, that is Peyton Burton. He's in 4th position, so Harris has moved back to position number 5. Ryland Gray in 6th position, 3 laps left to run. Then all of a sudden, Logan Rumsey's got himself a near 1.5 second lead, Drake.
Gunnar Harris running a very different line from everyone else, especially down in 3 and 4. We've talked about the only car really working the bottom side of the speedway. It's had some success and it has had some trials as there's 2 to go here in the final prelim feature event. Logan Rumsey well out in front of Tanner Pettit as the yellow comes out with 3 laps to go. This could change everything right here, Brent.
Yeah, it's going to really change up things. It is going to be a green-white checker here, so we're going to put it to overtime here in the final prelim. And I guess, well, what better way to send us to a green-white checker to find out how many of these drivers are going to go on to what will be the final server. And I believe we're going to be looking at, I think we're looking at the top 12. I think it is, because I believe we are looking at a 60-car server. Then we're going to have practice, we'll have qualifying, then we'll have the 5 12-car heat races. Then, of course, we'll throw them into some alphabet soup racing, a C, a B main, a quick little warm-up session, and then, of course, that all-important 50-lap main event here on the program to wrap up the first annual Shaun Timmerman Memorial Race.
Yeah, and you hit on it there, Brent. That was something we haven't really talked a whole lot about during this feature event, is that there's a lot of races going on inside this race with the top 12. Meanwhile, I think the top 5 really only care about one thing, that's victory lane. Rumsey is out a green-white checkered dash for the finish, and he gets away from Pettit early, is Pettit into the wall a little bit off of 2.
Well, I don't think anyone is going to catch Logan Rumsey right now, but boy, keep an eye once again on Gunnar Harris. Here comes Damien Keeper now down to the inside on Tanner Pettit. This is the battle for the runner-up spot. The white flag is out. 1 lap left to go. Pettit back to the inside. Back straight away for the final time. Logan Rumsey going to be victorious as he works to the bottom side. He will get the final prelim. What has been 4 servers. We're going to take a look here in a moment at what will be the final results here on the program for your main event prelim server number 4 here in the first annual Shaun Timmerman Memorial Race. Logan Rumsey gets the win, Tanner Pettit second, Damien Keeper, Gunnar Harris, Peyton Burton gets up 5, Ryland Gray in 6, Robert Satterfield, Dylan Aylor, Dustin Sargent, John Helms make up the top 10. Then we go back to Jeff Greamer, Jason Haynes, Gavin Chatham, Matthew Crow-Key, and Austin Halsey gets the final transfer spot by 11 1/1000ths of a second over Cody Hillman, Cole Croft, Tyler Lucy, Brian Oliver, Wadefield, your top 20. Then go back to Taylor Wineland, Kyle Sargent, Donald Blackburn, Brandon Crump, Michael Farron, Tim Ryan, Jason Waller, Ashton Miller, Jarrett Culbertson, and Robert Boggs. The 30 drivers that contested this one. But Drake, they wanted to see some prelim racing. They got to see it, and now the field is set for what will be our final 60-car server.
Absolutely, and we talked about drivers not only making it to the feature event out of this prelim, but this is not the only prelim server that's been going on. I believe they fired up around 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the United States, and it's been a couple-hour affair now, just trying to get everybody run through and everybody into their prelim races, whether that was lower main or a feature event. And then we just had not only a great race for the win and the places around the win, but we also had a great race for that final transfer. You talked about 11 1/1000ths. Cole Croft, I was watching the ticker as they were coming to the checker. Cole Croft had the final transfer spot all the way through 3 and 4 and just missed out, and yet he still ran 17th. So it was competitive. I think that's the short story of this, but well, we've talked about it already. What a great race, and we haven't even made it to the finals yet.
No, we've still got 1 server left, and that's going to be the big one. Who will come out victorious here for the Shaun Timmerman Memorial Race? I'm just trying to figure out who that is. That is, in fact, Tim Ryan, so we're not going to chat to him. So what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a commercial break. What we're going to do, we're going to play some videos. We'll play some videos sent in by some of the members of the iRacing community and what Shaun meant to them. Then what we'll do, we'll place, I don't know whether play some music or whatever, but we're going to come back when it's time for the final server here for the first annual running of the Shaun Timmerman Memorial Race. Again, you're watching live here on Ultimate Dirt TV, and I've just been told that they are going to give, how about this, Drake, before we go, they're giving Tim Ryan a provisional.
Interesting. We talked about Tim Ryan. If you're just joining us here on Ultimate Dirt TV and only caught the back half of the feature, Tim Ryan absolutely dominated that race. And for reasons unknown to us at the moment, he was unable to finish the race. So Tim Ryan getting a provisional. So he'll now have a chance to race his way into the big 50-lap race tonight.
Spoke about Tim Ryan winning the inaugural iRacing World of Outlaws World Championships. I can tell you that was in fact in 2018. He won it by 4 points over Alex Bergeron. I want to say that was the first of, I want to say, 2, maybe 3 attempts at Tim Ryan's attempt at a world championship. I know he ran in 2020, 2021. In fact, I was in that series. And then having a look here, whether he ran the next series, I don't believe he did. So he's had a run at it twice, and he's won it once. So there's a reason why he gets to do it. Well, he'll be in the A main come later on. But with that being said, we'll take this opportunity to step aside here on Ultimate Dirt TV. A couple of words from the members of the iRacing community on what Shaun meant to them.
Hey, John and Carolyn, Ty Showblock here. One thing that Shaun definitely taught me that it is totally okay to just be yourself and not let others take away from your happiness. Shaun and myself are definitely oddballs in our own right, but it is important to not let others distract ourselves from what we enjoy. The iRacing side of things, one big thing that he taught me was when about a month ago I couldn't seem to get any better or go any faster. And the first thing he asked me is if I was wrecking myself enough. And I thought that was hilarious for him to say that. And myself, no, I don't wreck a lot on my own. And he immediately told me I was not trying hard enough. If I ever wanted to be any better, I had to push those limits and see what the car could take, what I could take, if I ever wanted to get any better and faster and compete against the best on the sim. Guys, I miss him, and I really hope you all can find peace in this really tough time. Thank you.
Shaun Timmerman, where could I even begin? First formally met Shaun in 2022 when I joined EPI, and right off the bat, welcomed me like family and made me feel welcome. He was always willing to share his knowledge and skill with all of us racers to help make us the best that we could possibly be. And in my eyes, Shaun was one of the best to ever race a car in the iRacing platform. Just you name the car and he'd faster than anybody else on the track, alien-like we would call him. And putting the sim stuff to the side, Shaun was just overall a great friend. He was the person you could just hop in a Discord with and talk to for hours and just laugh, tell jokes, enjoy his company. And I'm surely going to miss that. And the time I knew him, he impacted me a lot, and I'm really going to miss him very much. So to Shaun Timmerman, rest in peace. And as always, Slide Jobs Daily.
What's up, everybody? My name is Jason Waller Jr. Shaun was a great friend, a great mentor, and taught me a lot of things, not only on the sim, but about life and how to always keep a smile on my face, always stay positive, and always be the bigger man. Shaun was a great friend, and he will always be remembered. Slide Jobs Daily. We love you, Shaun.
Hello, Timmerman family. My name's Steven. Yeah, I've been with Shaun since EPI, and then when he moved to M9. Shaun meant a lot to me. We didn't talk much, but it meant a lot to me knowing another Iowan from Dubuque was racing, and he meant a lot. He taught me the ropes, taught me how to get quick, and I'm gonna miss. One thing I'm gonna miss with Shaun is the horse talk. Just join the Discord, and all he just talks about is, yeah, I bet on this horse, I bet on that horse, this horse is gonna win, this horse is quick. I'm gonna miss the guy.
Hey, just want to make this video dedicated to Shaun. He was a really kind and outgoing guy. He ripped that Eldora, and I really loved talking to him and loved him on M9.
My name is Caden Folkers, and I was Shaun's teammate on M9 Performance. Shaun affected my life in many ways. This summer I'm sitting in Discord all by myself, and he joins and starts talking, and all of a sudden he says, Caden, I'm going to go out and chase the storm, so he took me on for the ride. Shaun had no fear of anything. I also got the chance to meet him for the very first time this past year at the Knoxville Nationals in Knoxville, Iowa, which let me get to know him a lot better. I miss Shaun very, very much, and this world ain't the same without Shaun.
Yeah, hi. I'm Dylan Berg. Shaun was probably one of the first people that when I joined EPI helped me immensely and helped me become the iRacer that I am today. He always was open arms and always was positive and helped me out whenever I needed help, and he just made a huge impact on my racing and helped me a ton. And he was the coolest kid and helped whenever I needed it. He was there and was always willing to help. So yeah, he was an awesome kid, and he'll truly be missed.
I first met Shaun when I was on another setup shop that was trying to get their dirt program off the ground. David Allen came over to be their builder. Shaun came with him. I knew of Shaun just from racing with him. You knew he was one of the guys that you couldn't beat. Had super fast, had a lot of talent. And the more I got to talk with Shaun, he was very knowledgeable, very forward. That was what I probably liked about him the best. There was no BS. He would tell you, if you're not running your car hard enough to crash, you ain't running it hard enough. He always yelled at me because, I get nervous and hold my breath. He'd tell me to breathe. But it wasn't until we got to M9 that I found out that Shaun had a love for horses. And that's really kind of where we hit it off. We would talk about horses more than we would anything else. Me and my wife have race horses, have barrel horses. She rodeos. So, when I found out that he was into track horses, that's what we talked about. We always talk about what he would name his horse. I told him that he always needed to come down and ride. And, I had a horse for him that he needed to buy, put in his backyard. So, and then one day Shaun decided that, he asked me if he could run our performance horse logo on his car, and I was like thrilled, because at my skill level, I probably will never make the Pro Series, but to have somebody of Shaun's stature decide to, want to be a part of that, I was really thankful and really blessed, and just to have Shaun as a friend that I could talk to and learn from was really something that I cherish. And yeah, it was a tough day for us all, and I wish his family the best, and we miss Shaun a lot.
I'm not very good at these, but I guess I'll give her a whirl. But Shaun was a great influence on me. My first memory of him was whenever he came out of retirement, one of the times whenever he was off the sim, and he put up like a 5-second win against me when I thought I was going to have that one in the bag, with a lot of good drivers in there. Qualified second to him, and he took the lead in the A main and never looked back and won by like 5 seconds. But that's my first memory of Shaun. He's going to be truly missed. He helped me a lot in my Pro Series triumph last year. I'm going to miss him, man. I mean, it's been tough, but next season I'm going to find a spot, put him on the sideboard. It's probably going to have to be on the other side, right about there, right next to the CNC floors. And I'll have one in my cockpit as well. But yeah, I miss you, Shaun.
Okay. I just texted her. We'll see if she texts me back. She'll probably be mad. You ready?
It's not going to be good.
It's going to be fine. Uh-oh, you froze. Yeah.
Everything's good on my end.
No, yeah, it's me. It's not you. It's my shitternet. So
maybe I was bouncing up and down too much.
Maybe that's what it was. All right, so let's just get into it. What we're going to talk about basically is when you met Shaun, and what was your impression of him then versus before he passed away, and really, if if you want to say anything else, you can. If not, it's fine too. So either way, basically, my first question for you. Well, this is Tim Smith, professional World of Outlaws driver in iRacing. Also drives a 360 on a weekly basis in real life at Knoxville Speedway in Knoxville, Iowa. So not real far from you, John and Carolyn. But basically, Tim got to spend a whole lot of time with Shaun over the last couple years, and I'm just going to let him now talk and just tell me when he first met Shaun.
If I remember, Dave, like you're actually the first guy to say like, "Hey, this guy's really good and he's looking for a team." I mean, it was actually wrote on. If I remember, it was on like the back of it, so looking for a team. If I remember right, so
yeah, it was at
anyways,
Lernerville. Yeah, he had the paint on his
so
car said "looking for a team."
yeah, if you remember, it was actually we're thinking about it for a while because we don't just take anybody, as you know, and it would. And Kokomo was actually like where we decided it because he was still running at Kokomo. I was like, okay, it's 2 weeks in a row now. He's been running that, so
yeah,
clearly he's not got a lot of offers he likes or whatever. So we started talking in Discord some, and he actually just like everybody else, he mistaken me for the wrong Tim Smith and didn't know I was Amy Smith originally. So that's kind of a funny story.
Yeah. There's so many people that follow Tim Smith on Facebook that think it's you. It's pretty hilarious. Actually, John, Shaun's dad, followed the wrong Tim Smith as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, he said
Just whoever wants to watch this and looks it up. There's 25 Timothy Smiths on iRacing, so
yeah.
I'm the only Timothy S. Smith. So
there you go. So what was so we brought Shaun onto our team, and I mean, really, he allowed us to bring him on our team because he was definitely at your level then and way beyond my level. And what was your first impressions when we really started hanging out with him?
well, I'm gonna say you're wrong there, Dave. I definitely wasn't on his level. I didn't know it at the time because I didn't know as much then. But Shaun's already made pro once already. He made a pro once already, so I already knew he had way more experience than me, and he knew what he was doing more than me. So at the time, I honestly didn't meet Trevor. I don't think then Trevor wasn't a part of anything, if I remember correctly. Is that right? Is that right? Correct
I
me
think
on
he
there.
was, but just like very like nonchalant, like working kind of on the side. That was at the very beginning of TSM. So
Yeah,
it was really
that's a funny
more.
story.
Yeah, it was really more like Isaac and Brad Withenshaw and us two and a couple other Kyle Petty. I mean, we were really there was no focus on just being what M9 is today for sure.
No, it's that was kind of like the early days of the core members of M9. I think it's fair to say. But going back to Shaun here, like he was like basically the only pure, I would say, yeah, pure sprint car driver on here. And I think that's fair to say because my main focus for a while was actually midgets. I really like the midgets, but he was like my mentor, dude. I mean, like that's the first guy I like that could actually just sit down and teach me how to run the sprint car like 100% correct on the sim because at the time I only raced in real life like one season, and my first season I didn't have nothing but less than 10 races, so it's not like I knew a whole lot. I was just kind of throwing it in there hoping for the best, and he was the one that showed me how to run the lines correctly and show me how to, it sounds stupid, but get down the straightaway. I mean, I was doing that wrong for the longest time. I didn't even know it. So it's there. I can go days and days about like how he actually like knew what he was doing a lot more than me. And that's probably my biggest mentor in the sprint car world on iRacing.
Right. Yeah, he was for a lot of people. And I know like I got to Pro Series with, just getting a drive with you and Shaun, but Shaun really took me under his wing to try to just show me those things that it's almost like you could pay a lot of money to somebody that was at that level, and they still might not show you those things. And you and I actually, we did pay money to somebody that's at that level, and we didn't get the information that. I mean, we got a lot of good information, but there's definitely no secrets that were told there. And like with Shaun, there was like he was just willing to give us all of the information and whatever he could do to help us out.
Yeah, obviously, like he didn't just like flat out just give it to us. Obviously, we were talking for a very long period of time before that trust level built. But once the team chemistry kind of got better, I'm really big about that. Like, a team's got to work together. Like, if it doesn't work together, like it's kind of like me and Trevor right now. We're running the Pro Series currently right now. I mean, if we don't agree a lot of the time, not really agree. What's the right word there? Like, if we don't really just like work together and just the team chemistry's now, it's not going to fly. It's just like the real deal there. I mean, so once after a while, once we learned team chemistry and everything, he gave us a lot of that information. And I mean, there's nothing really else to say about that, honestly.
Yeah. Just a little bit off the subject here, since you're talking about team chemistry, what were some of the things that you got to do with Shaun as far as just in Discord? And I'm going to get to a point here, but tell me some of the stuff that you guys did in Discord besides iRacing, like kind of just building relationship, because you got to have that chemistry, like you said. So in order to get that chemistry, you got to be able to kind of hang out besides just iRacing. And
yeah,
you're not doing it in real life. You're doing it, as close to that as you can be on Discord.
Yeah, of course. We talk about a lot of stuff. Honestly, we didn't like a lot of the same things, but one thing we liked doing, if I remember, we used to like change everybody's names on Discord, and we used to like get the same profile picture, and then we would both talk exactly the same, and we would just screw around like that all the time. He actually was really smart about like what do you call those things, Dave? Like the meme pictures, and he used to do it to Blake all the time.
Yeah, the GIFs and the memes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He used to make a lot of those, and I used to give him a lot of ideas for that. So,
yep. Tell me, he was also really good at a game on that you and him played. I mean, he was probably, a lot of people don't know this, but he was basically a checkers champion.
Well, that was kind of behind the scenes stuff there, Dave. 90% of the time I beat him, but he kind of lied about that stuff. I was okay.
Oh my gosh, that was one of the funniest moments ever in my career on in iRacing. And since I started hanging out with you guys, I don't know, 4 years ago, whatever it was, and I can just remember that he beat you or said that you were cheating or something along those lines.
Yeah, you're referring to the first game ever. So we played on this really, really. Am I allowed to curse here?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So we ran on we played on a really shitty website, and the rules were really jacked up. So he thought I was cheating the whole time, because I guess the website glitched out, and I like my piece apparently on his screen like jumped across the board.
Yeah.
But what I did is I triple jumped him, and he was so confused. He was so convinced I cheated, and ever since then he just like convinced you, Trevor, and everybody that I cheated, and I was no good at checkers, and he was just a checkers champion. That's how that went.
He was really good at that, and the reason he was so good at that is because he was like, if Shaun had something in his head that he believed was true, whether it was or not, and usually it was, but he was so passionate about that being the case. So no matter what, like his answer is the answer. So, which was, a lot of people didn't know how to take that, to be honest. And we were around him so often that to us it was just normal, but to everyone else it was Shaun was a dick, or
I mean, we called him a drill sergeant for a reason.
Yeah. So, if you could name probably like one thing that you think that helped you the most in your career and to get where you're at now, and something, I know there's probably a handful of things that he taught you, but what do you think was probably the most important thing that he taught you that's helped with your career the most?
That's hard. That's a really tough question. I honestly haven't thought about that. I could definitely tell you whenever he got on to me the worst was about I always felt like I was good about starting on the front row outside versus everybody else, because everybody complains like, oh, it's single me you need a triple so that way you can see the guy on the left so that we can take off at the same time. Well, I think a lot of people know this. I'm still on a single monitor, and I just learned how to watch people's front tires and turn and stuff, but I used to be way overly aggressive with it. And I used to jump people's right fronts all the time with my left rear. So he got on to me about that one day, and he was just like, dude, you need to stop doing that. Like, and obviously it was like the drill sergeant. I had stuff I can't say on here because he yelled at me pretty good that day. Stuff that can't be said on TV, but he got on to me pretty hard about that. And he said, you need to cut that out because it's not professional. You're going to end up wrecking a lot. And, you know, like, that's probably one of his lessons. Like, you got to finish the damn race. Like, you got to finish, like, and got to keep your nose more clean. So I eventually learned how to do that without, you know, hitting people and giving people more space and racing people a little bit more clean. So that's how that went. That's probably the most distinct one if I had to think of one.
Yeah, I'm going to answer that question too, because this is kind of like a two-part interview where, you know, we can learn things from people can learn things from both of us here. Even though they can't see me and they can only see you, which is fantastic. But
wow,
I would say that the biggest lesson that he taught me, and you know, I've gotten a bunch of these videos from other people, and so many people have really said the same thing. But the amount of practice that he put in, and basically, and you put in, is what makes good drivers, great in the sim. And so many people think that they should just, like, you know, they get the setup and the setup should be good, but he had a setup. We were struggling at Knoxville or something, and he gave me a setup, and I was like, man, this is terrible. Like, and he's like, nah, you're terrible. And I was like, I was just determined to prove him wrong, essentially, and that his setup was bad and I couldn't. So in that process, I learned that his setup was amazing and I just didn't know how to drive. And it's lap after lap after hundreds of laps. It took me maybe even thousands before I realized how amazing that setup was that he had made. And he wasn't even a setup builder, but he knew when something was right and when it wasn't. And so for me, the biggest thing is, you know, basically Rome wasn't built in a day. So there's no one that's going to step into this platform and just be absolutely amazing from the get-go. There's guys that are better than others, but no one at that level.
No, it's actually about the practice. I can go on days about that too. I've always practiced, and I knew it was important. I was doing it the wrong way though, and he showed me a lot of right ways. And kind of jumping back and forth here. The thing about the setup is the biggest thing he's taught me is actually the biggest thing he's ever taught me is I apply it to even to this day is whenever me and Trevor sit around setups, or I mean Dave, you know it too. He said, don't look at that setup, because when you start looking at it, you start thinking about it, and then you already make up in your head whether it's good or not. And that's not the right way to go about things. You gotta, if somebody sends you something and says it's good, just load it up real quick. Don't even look at it. Just drive. And and let your feelings tell you, it's like, okay, it's either loose or tight, or I don't like it here and there. And that's actually going to give you more information in the long run. And that also teaches you a lot more stuff, how to adapt to if the setup is off, like how can I make the best of it? That's probably, honestly, like that, going back to that question, that's actually probably the biggest thing I've learned out of them. That is so crucial, and I've learned how to drive bad setups, essentially, if that makes sense. I mean, it's just,
you beat me.
I was so used to
stock setups at Williams Grove, so you made me look really dumb. And that was even, I mean, I'm pretty sure that was when I was a pro driver, so I wasn't terrible for sure. better than a lot, and you beat me with the baseline Williams Grove setup, and it really infuriated me to the point where it forced
Yeah.
me. It forced me to be better because, I mean, that is all just driver ability, and when there's that much of a gap between people, you're fighting a losing battle, essentially.
Yeah, it really infuriates people on here, and it's not talked about a lot, but everybody's got the same shocks brand and same wing brand and same. I mean, it's laser scanned, and the horsepower is identical. I mean, there's no other way around it. You got the identical car as the next guy around you, so it really people whenever you just beat them like that. But it's they say in losing you learn more, and that's also something Sean's taught us the best. Like Eldora. He's beat us so many times at Eldora I can't even count. I mean, I don't think I've ever won a race against him there. If I have, it wasn't by much, I bet. I just had to be so laser focused around him around Eldora. He used to rip around that place. Dave, tell me if I'm wrong. Didn't he an official race? It went green to checker at a 30 lapper, and didn't he lap like almost the whole field at Eldora? Yep. And it was like a 3,500 SOF.
Yeah, I think the whole way up to second or third place, he lapped the entire field.
Yeah, and that was, I think, if I'm not wrong, that was over 2 years ago. So back then, 3,500 would probably be like equal to 5K now. Like It was a stout field, and he like straight up just lapped almost everybody. That's how fast he was around Eldora. He had that place nailed.
Yeah, it was so frustrating to me when he was trying to. He actually took a lot of time with me at that track, and I would say I can't get any closer to the wall, and he's like, "Yeah, you can." He's like, "You didn't junk yourself yet." So like that, I turned. I just remember him taking the time after a race. I think it was actually one of Sparky's races that he happened to race or something, and him and I stayed in there after the race was over. The server was still open, and we just ran around the track with, whatever fuel we had left. And he just followed me around and let me follow him around. And so, I mean, just the amount of time and effort that he was willing to put in was pretty amazing.
Yeah. No, it's he's, like I said, he's taught me how to practice the correct way. He told me don't look at the setup, be a driver, be a little bit more of a driver. Obviously setup matters, but you, like I said, when you quickly realize, like, and you put into factor, I got the same car as a guy next to me. It's not that much different. I mean, you can win official races with stock setup, and I've actually done it before, but it's just, you got to be a little bit more of a driver. It's a simulator for a reason. It's trying to bring out the best out of you. So he really showed us that.
Yep. So I didn't write any questions down for any of this, Tim. This is all off the cuff, just talking to you. So I figured that this would be the best way to, get the most out of it. And I really don't have a whole lot more. The only thing that I would say is, Sean, you know how close I was to Shaun, and obviously you were very close to Shaun as well. And, he's going to be missed by so many people, and people that don't even realize it, like what he did for iRacing, essentially. So, I don't know if there's anything that you would want to say beyond what we already talked about or not, but you feel free to if you do. But there's nothing. I don't have any more questions for you.
No, a lot of those are speed secrets, so I mean, I can't say too much, man.
No, that's okay. That's okay. No problem at all. Just
obviously, there's man, like there's a lot more to say, but like it comes to a point like we would be here forever if we were. So I mean, It's just like it's for what the people should know, they should know. So it's like comes down to that.
Yep. All right, buddy. Thank you, and we'll talk to you soon. All right.
All right. Bye.
All right. See ya.
All right, we are
moment,
back
but
here
you're
on Ultimate Dirt TV. We have got something special planned. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to throw it over to David Allen, who has got and organised something with the Timmerman family. So Dave, floor's all yours, buddy.
So about I would say probably a week ago, I actually sent the Timmermans a package and told them. Actually, I told Carolyn that she had to make sure that this package didn't get opened because John can't be trusted with packages. So they did. They waited, and if they didn't wait, then they did a good job of hiding it. So so basically, what we're going to do now is I would like for Danny, Shane, Carolyn, and John to open this package together.
There's a delay.
Okay.
There's a delay.
John was. Yep. Yeah, you can open it.
You can open it because there's a delay. It's fine. Open it.
Yep. Go ahead and open it.
Go ahead and open it, guys. You want to? You got to go out further. Well, why do I gotta hold the camera? I can't be opening the. There's a delay.
Yeah, you can open it.
You can open it because there's a delay. It's fine. Open it.
Yeah, go ahead and open it up.
Go ahead and open it. You want to?
Danny, can you mute your TV?
Where's the TV remote? Go out further. And why do I gotta hold the camera? I can't be opening this.
Your camera froze. There you go. Moment of silence. Well, they did a good job wrapping it. Yeah, don't cut through it with a knife.
Yeah, so don't cut it with the knife.
Just pull it apart.
You wanted to clear it up.
You wanted to do it right. That's cool. Thank you so much.
Oh my God. Oh, wow. Oh, that's so cool. Oh. Thank you. Thank you.
I love it.
Oh my gosh.
Can you show the camera?
So when we were at your house, I realized that I wasn't going to see the steering wheel again. And I realized that it had its handprints.
That's why you have it.
Steering wheel. And so I quick took pictures of it when it was sitting in your driveway because we wanted you to have it, but all of a sudden I realized, this was it. And now we have it back. Thank you.
Now you have it back. You're so very welcome. I couldn't get rid of those handprints away from you guys, so I had to make sure that it was sealed. A good friend of mine's a custom cabinet maker. I had to make that box, and then I mounted the wheel inside of it, and that's the rest is history. So it can never be used again.
Thank you.
His handprints will be with you forever.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, guys, we're going to get on with the show here. Sit back and relax, and we'll take care of everything else, okay?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wow.
Well done, Dave.
Yeah, I gotta say that was well done. As we're sort of back live at the overview of the racetrack, and we've got quite a few minutes to spare before we get into what will be the final race, or the final server, I should say, of the Shaun Timmerman Memorial race. But Dave, I guess Dave, it what has been a hard couple of months for not only you but their entire family. I'm actually just going to unmute on that, and I'm actually going to shut the Zoom call off. And I will unmute Sparky as well, not that I need to. But, David, it's been, like I said, a couple of hard months for their family and the iRacing community to get their head around things. And obviously once the news broke, I guess you could say, was it instinct that took over, that wanted you to put on this race in keeping Shaun's memory alive?
Yeah, it actually just hit me like a brick. Actually, just that right there, what you just said, and I'm glad I'm not on camera anymore. To be honest, you see a grown man cry. So it did. We've done these memorial races before for people that we didn't necessarily, that weren't super close to us, and this one is just it had to happen immediately, and it had to be the biggest one that we've ever done, and with the best drivers. And I mean, the drivers that are in this field they're the best in the world. So we're excited to do this for the Timmerman family, because they're going to be able to keep this forever and go back and look at the video that were done, and really just the entire experience. And hopefully it helps a little bit. I can't even fathom that what they're going through as a family, but we as friends, this is the least that we can do. And it wasn't, I don't want anybody to think that I did all this by myself, because I could have never done all this by myself. There is a laundry list of people that have contributed their time, money, through donations to the family, which we have through t-shirt sales. We've raised right around $1,400, and then through just people donating money, about the same thing. So, and that is, the links are going to be up through at the end of this race and this program. And if somebody wants to donate, they can still donate to the family. Every penny goes to the family. Nobody in this gets paid anything. We got trophies that we're going to give out for this event, and they were donated by somebody awesome as well. Nick Klosterman is doing that for us. I want to list a couple people that had big roles in this. So, in no particular order at all, I just wrote them down so I didn't forget people, and I'm still going to forget people. But Chad Griggs, he's the one hosting this race. He puts on an awesome league for the pro drivers, and he's answered a lot of dumb questions for me, I should say, and without any hesitation. He's always been there for me the entire time, and it's made it a lot easier. Brett Wheeler, of course, the host of the broadcast. Typically these shows are pretty expensive to put on, and Brett immediately said, absolutely, I want to do this for Shaun. So that goes without being said how amazing that is, because this broadcast, the things that are being done in this broadcast are just amazing. Brett is, in my opinion, the best on iRacing and doing sim racing of any sort. Plum Wild Podcast, Nathan Waddell and Tamian Kiefer, they really promoted this race a lot on their podcast, which is listened to by a lot of people. Another podcast, that was done was on iRace's Lounge, and that's Mike Ellis did that for us as well, which has a huge following, pretty amazing. But the T-shirt sales, Ty Kovalek, Connor Dudak, Clayton Davies, Trent Pullman, and Trevor Meyer for the Rapid T-shirt sales, which again raised an amazing $1,300+ for the family. Tommy Brandon with SSR, he also promoted the race on his platform, which is a massive platform. Josh Van Manen for helping with the adminning on this. We all have families and we have things going on, and you know, we're all trying to make this work as quick as possible for the Timmerman family and without neglecting our own families, essentially. So everybody put in their fair share everywhere from top to bottom. We got Drake Urick in the booth, Stephen McMillan in the booth as well.
Because you need to go to bed.
And basically, I hate to say it. I don't hate to say it. I love to say it. The most important people that I want to thank for this whole deal is every single person that was involved and raced in this race, because none of this happens without all of you. So it is absolutely amazing the turnout that we had. It's beyond expectations. I think everybody here is super happy. The support of people that have reached out to me, even if they couldn't be here, they wanted to be here and had other obligations going on. I mean, it's just nonstop. I could just go on and on and on about the amount of support for Shaun, which that's why we're all here is for Shaun and the Timmerman family, and just to try to shed a little bit of light on a dark spot. So the last thing that I'm going to say is that because this doesn't get said enough, is that we never know what's going on at the other side of somebody's computer. So in Shaun's case, he was sick for a long time. But other people on the sim, we tend to get we want to just blame people for things and be mean to people, and we need to get better at that as human beings in general, not just on the sim, but in life in general, because we never know what's going on. Could be somebody that you're working with at work, and they have something terrible going on at their house, and you're just bully to them essentially, and there's just no room for that really anymore, especially with as dark as the world is anyway. So I'll get off my spiel with that, but just be nicer to everybody, and you know, because you just never know what's going on. But with that being said, I don't have a whole lot more other than I just want to thank John and Carolyn, Danny and Shane for being supportive of me. None of this was easy for me, for sure, but they called me every day or texted me every day. They're now my family, and I love them like family. So I didn't really know them a lot before Shaun passed away, but now, like, I wish I got to know them a lot sooner, because they're just amazing people. The strength of this family, and I know that they're all extremely appreciative of everything that you guys are doing in this race for them. So from the bottom of my heart, from the bottom of their heart, thank you so much, and I'm going to get off of here because I can't talk anymore.
No, well, you can, because you're going to talk one more thing, and we spoke yesterday at a little bit of length as to how all this was going to work, and I showed you a couple of cool new features that I was working on, and you mentioned something to me yesterday of what's to come. Now, obviously, tonight being the first annual running of the Shaun Timmerman Memorial, I believe you've already got something in the pipeline for next year for the second annual running of the Shaun Timmerman Memorial. You want to shed some light on that one while we've got you?
Absolutely. So I'm glad you said it, because I don't know how I almost forgot this, but probably because I'm so emotional right now. But next year, the second annual Shaun Timmerman Memorial, and I want everybody to hear this, and I want you to talk about it. The dates are going to be October 24th, 25th, and 26th of next year. October 24th is important because it's the day that Shaun passed away. There is going to be, if not the biggest, probably close to the biggest sprint car race in the history of iRacing. There is going to be a prize fund of $10,000 for the prize run. Yes, there'll be an entry fee for that one. It won't be free to enter, but $10,000. So anybody can get in it. I don't care if we have 300 cars sign up for it, 400 cars. It doesn't matter. I don't care if we have 100 cars show up for it. It's still going to be a $10,000 purse. There's no minimum amount of cars that can show up. It'll be a 3-day event, 2 nights of qualifying, essentially, to get in the main show, kind of like an Eldora Million, or I guess it's just like my mini version of Eldora Million. So I'm going to take care of that, the funds for that, and making sure that that's all there for that. And it's exciting, and it is absolutely the least that I can do for the community and for the Timmerman family, is to keep his name going forever. So we'll have these every year. It'd probably be the same dates if the dates work out with, other racing versus this. And we're going to get out to a decade from now, and the biggest talk in iRacing is going to be the Shaun Timmerman Memorial.
Well, tell you what, Dave, it's look. I already told you yesterday that you can lock me in for those dates, and it's going to happen right here on Ultimate Dirt TV. So from everyone here at Ultimate Dirt TV, we thank you for what you've done. Not only you, but your whole team that has been able to promote and put this event on. I think you had, I want to say, about 300 people sign up. I don't know what the end number was when it comes to how many drivers participated and raced in over the 4 prelim servers. But we've got one more server to come, and that is, of course, the big one to see who is actually going to be crowned the first annual Shaun Timmerman Memorial winner. So, Dave, I'm going to let you, Sparky, and Chad get on out of here. And myself, Drake York, and Stephen Whelan are going to pick up on the broadcast. And I'll tell you what, we're ready whenever you want to send cars out on the racetrack, and whenever you want to go qualifying and whatever, we'll be ready to go.
Thanks for everything, Brett. You, Steve, and Drake have also done a great job on this broadcast. Thank you, guys.
All right, there we go. So that was Josh Van Manen, Chad Griggs, and David Allen. I'm Brett Wheeler, joined alongside Drake York, who was with me for the final prelim server of the night, and joined also by Steve McMillan. We're going to have a 3-man booth for you guys here. Drake, welcome back. Steve, welcome. It's Shaun Timmerman Memorial race time here tonight at Eldora, and this is the big one that everybody wants to win, Drake.
Absolutely, and we've talked all night about just wanting to make it into this server, and we had Dave and Sparky come on, and they talked about 300 cars signing up for this event. I mean, that's, I guess the best way you could describe this is it's almost comparable to Chili Bowl, where you're just trying to make a big show, and this is like making one of the big shows at Chili Bowl, like a D or a C or a B at Chili Bowl. It's a thrill for all these guys to be here, and trust me, every single one of them has earned their spot here tonight.
So, yeah, Steve, you're no stranger to putting on, big weekly series, but also you're no stranger to putting on memorial races. It's been a huge effort from these guys, and look, tell you what, I'm certainly glad you could be here tonight. And are you looking forward to some 410 sprint car action here from Eldora very shortly?
Definitely. It's been a long time since I've been around some sprint car racing, so yeah, I'm ready to straddle down and watch some racing.
Settle down, cowboy up, boots are on. These boots are made, and they're not made for walking, they're made for stomping the throttle to the floor. Shaun Timmerman Memorial main server getting ready to roll off here in just a moment. But again, just a few little stats and some insight as to what Shaun had just accomplished briefly here on the iRacing.com service. Of course, he was in the 2020 World of Outlaws World Championship campaign. He finished 21st in that series, and he was having a run at a qualifying series in the World of Outlaws Thrustmaster qualifying series. He was 17th after what he only completed what was 3 of the 6 qualifying rounds. So they take the top 20 in that one, so he would have been given a second World Championship Pro license after just competing 3 rounds of the qualifying series before the tragedy struck. Shaun had 855 dirt oval starts with 416 wins, 596 top 5s. That is near of about 70% top 5s on dirt compared to his starts. 398 pole positions. And get this one for a stat, Drake. He done a total of 20,351 laps and he led 11,550. Over half of the laps that he was in the dirt oval side, he actually was leading the race.
And that's incredible, and you have all the stats right there. And I don't care what the race is. I don't care if it's a World of Outlaw race or if it's an Apex race or just you and a couple of buddies racing on iRacing that night, right? It's hard to just make it around the racetrack. I mean, these 410 sprint cars or just anything on dirt, wants to slide around. It's different. It's hard to drive at times. So to not only be as good as he was, but to have the stats to back it up like that just goes to show you the level of talent Shaun Timmerman had. And obviously, you heard it from all the people before, and you heard Dave talk about it quite a bit in length there just a few minutes ago. But certainly a good guy, too, that's going to be missed on the service.
Steve, what Dave had done now, again, if you just sort of catching up on all this, all of Shaun's stuff was given to Dave Allen, all Shaun's Semry gear, but that's what that steering wheel, I mean, how cool was that? I mean, to me, that actually, I actually started getting emotional just watching that family just unfold that, and I knew that was coming for a couple of weeks to see what Dave was going to do for the family. That's pretty special to keep in memory, because, and I think Dave said it, that if Dave had Shaun's will and he's using Shaun's will, he's essentially taking Shaun's DNA away. Now the family's got that forever. That's pretty cool and something special.
Definitely something special, something to keep, something to last a lifetime. And, it's little things like that that mean the world to a family. And, you said teary-eyed. I just got on and got home from work. I mean, and that's what I started viewing, watching. I mean, even brought tears to my eyes,
Drake, well, it is main event time, not main event time, main server time. How it is all going to work here. We're getting into the final, what will be almost 5 minutes left of this practice session here before we get into qualifying. There'll be 5 heat races, 10 laps. Top 5 will go through to the main event. In fact, we're getting ready to go racing right now. Then we're going to have a C main, which is B main number 1 and B main number 2. And then, of course, we'll have a warm-up session followed by what is going to be a 48-lap main event. But right now, it is time to go qualifying here from Eldora Speedway. Let's take a look at who will be the first car to go on the racetrack and lay down the lap time. And who will lay down fastest lap time here live from the virtual Eldora Speedway. Let's take a look at Shaun English on the racetrack, getting ready to run in that number 14 machine. Make that number 15 machine. Why is trading paint's not working?
It's always a mystery. So
that's Seth Gregory.
We'll go with 15.
That's Seth Gregory, actually.
All right. Track rework after the last prelim show. So the track's pretty bad fast right now. A 12 or a 12.795 right there for Shaun Gregory. One thing that you're going to see, and you're going to see a lot of cars appear on the ticker right now. The nice thing about iRacing is we can qualify the entire field all at once, and the best part is no one will get in anybody's way. So Aiden Beerline right now the fastest. He laid down a 12.529. Halsey, Powell, C, Pettit the top 5 as they run right now. Chad Riggs, you're watching now, currently 19th fastest.
Tim Ryan on.
Rumsey.
Yeah, he would have. So he wouldn't have.
Rumsey went around.
Yeah, he wouldn't have liked his entry going down into 3. So he'll have one more opportunity. Tim Ryan, Aiden Beal and Aiden Forster. They actually went 1-2 in qualifying in the first server earlier on this afternoon, earlier on tonight, I should say. But right now, Tim Ryan again, he copped a provisional here. We'll see what kind of lap time he's going to do. Quick time, 12.519. And here is Logan Rumsey getting ready to stop the the time here on the speed charts with the Alpha Industries number 41 machine. Looks like he's going to go inside the top 3. It is third quick with a 12.538. How about that? Tim Ryan, Aiden Beerline, Logan Rumsey, Aiden Forster, and Chase Stewart. 59th car is getting ready to wrap up. Jason LaViolette is there. He is 56 quick, but Steve McMillan, we are done with qualifying as we get ready for heat race number 1. I'll let you take us through the heat race number 1 starting lineup.
All right, start of the poll tonight. It'll be Tim Ryan and Ryan Avila to his outside. Row number 2 to the inside would be Robbie Swan and Ty. I'm not
Shobalok.
Shobalok. All right, there you go. Row number 2. Row number 3 be David Allen and Dylan Ayler in a 92. Peyton Burton will start on the inside, and AC Simmons to his outside in the 54 machine. Jason Randolph in the 47, and Cody Williams will start to his outside. Nick
Klosterman.
Klosterman, there you go. And Jason
LaViolette.
There you go.
Nothing's changed, Steve. Nothing has changed.
It's all the same, Brad. It's all the same. I'm still old, and I still need glasses, that's for sure.
It's all good. Drake York, heat race number 1. How about this? Tim Ryan, Ryan Avila on the front row. Robbie Swan, Ty Shobalok, David Allen, Dylan Ayler again. Top 5 is going to be the top 5 is going to be the magic number, but 10 laps is going to be the distance here. Drake, going to getting ready to go racing off turn number 4, I think, or we might be sending him one more time around the iRacing behind the pace car. So yes, we're going to go one more time. So I'll go two laps around before we go green. But Drake, I'm going to let you lead us to the drop of the green flag. Heat race number 1 of the first annual Shaun Timmerman Memorial.
Well, keep an eye on Tim Ryan in car 98. He's going to start on the inside of row number 2, the inaugural World of Outlaws World Champion on iRacing. Of course, had issues earlier tonight in his prelim. We don't know what the issue was, but nonetheless, it prevented him from finishing the feature event. So he gets a provisional, able to get a good time on it as lights are out around the Speedway. The iRacing Chevy Silverado down to the infield as we get ready to go for the first race in the big dance on the big server. Green flag is out in heat number 1.
Actually, I won't spoil what is going to happen here, but right now it's going to be David Allen leading the way. Tim Ryan around the outside of Ryan Avila. Here comes Ty Shobalok down to the inside. Shobalok is going to move into position number 3. Avila back to position number 4. Then you go back to Robbie Swan. He's back there into position number 5. 3 wide, Steve, through turn number 1 and 2. Heat race number 1. Still leading the way is David Allen over Tim Ryan. And you go back to Ty Shobalok. Ryan Avila still working in that 4th position. Rounding up the top 5 is still Dylan Ayler now. In fact, as he's now moved up to position number 5. Problems there for Robbie Swan. Jake he's now back to position number 12.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Problems for Robbie Swan. Meanwhile, Avila looking to the outside of Shobalok off of turn number 4 is Ryan and David Allen racing for the race lead now. Good battles all over the top 5. We stay on the battle for 3rd between Avila and Shobalok. Avila drives it in, can't quite clear across the groove. There you got split screen battle of that great race for the 3rd spot with Shobalok finally pulling ahead of that SpeedShot51.com 49.
Yeah, Shobalok has found his way to position number 3 is Tim Ryan. He's going to lead the way here. Now battle is on for the race lead. So there is Tim Ryan leading the way over David Allen. Boy, I tell you what, Tim Ryan, he's got some serious speed in that Altus Esports Logitech Speed Factory number 98 mission. Again, the inaugural winner of the iRacing World Championships in 410 wing sprint car competition. Coming to 2 laps left to run here in heat race number 1, Steve.
Yep, we've got 2 laps to go. Tim Ryan, David Allen, Shobalok there, and Avila top 4. As they're single filed out now, as you look at Tim Ryan starting to inch away from David Allen. Casey Sims just put down the quickest time too. White flag, final lap.
Final lap for Tim Ryan in the 98 machine into turn number 3, about to come off turn number 4. He's going to start on pole of your feature event. Drake, Tim Ryan gets the win. I'll let you read through the results here in just a few moments' time before heat race number 2 will make their way onto the racing surface.
Well, Tim Allen definitely making the most of that provisional. We knew he had a lot of speed before, but he's really flexing his muscles. As you said, Brett, going to start on the pole of tonight's 48-lap feature event. David Allen going to transfer along with Ty Shobalok, Ryan Avila, and Dylan Ayler, your transfer cars out of Heat 1. Jason Randolph, Casey Simmons, Cody Williams, Nick Klosterman, and Jason LaViolette will round out your top 10.
All right, well, heat race number 2, Drake, and I'll let you lead us through the starting lineup.
Well, no slouches on the front row here of heat race number 2. Aiden Beerline on the inside. The front row 2 is outside. Garrett Holsley. As we slide back to row number 2 on the inside, starting third, Evan C. Quite the talent behind the wheel of either sprint cars or late models here on the service, and Adam Elby to his outside. Starting fifth in the 96, or 960, I should say, is Shaun English, and to his outside, the 54F of Gunnar Harris. Starting on the inside of number 4 in 7th, Travis Oilfield, and to his outside is Chad Griggs. It should be your final row here, Michael Cooper and Jason Haynes.
One more.
One more, I lied. Bo Krebs and Jesse DeRosa, excuse me, will round out your starting field. 12 cars, 10 laps. Top 5 move into the 48-lap feature event for the first running of the Shaun Timmerman Memorial.
Heat 1 in the books, heat race number 2 of 5 here from the virtual Eldora Speedway. Again, you'll see 5 10-lap heat races, then 2 B mains, which will consist of top 12, and then I believe, what is that, 5 5s, so 25, and then I believe they're going to take the top 2 from those ones to lock in what should be a 29-car field. But here we go, heat race number 2. Aiden Beerline, Garrett Halsey on the front row. 5 current world championship drivers are in the first 5 positions. Beerline, Halsey, C, Elby in English. Green flag is up and underway. Steve, heat race number 2.
Definitely, as you look at Aiden Beerline getting a good run off the turn of 2 down the back straightaway. Garrett right there in his hip pocket. You got Elby and English. They're balanced side by side. Lap number 1 is in the books in heat race number 2.
Heat race number 2 is on the racetrack. Beerline still leading the way. Halsey got some company with Adam Elby. Elby, one of the only couple of drivers that have been able to contest all iRacing World Championship history when it comes to the world with the pro scene. But right now, Garrett Halsey holds him off at bay. Evan C is almost going to slip outside the top 5 right now, because here comes Gunnar Harris. Drake, we go back to the final of the prelim server. Gunnar Harris come from the B main and found himself battling and finished inside of the top 5.
Yeah, Gunnar Harris really not content to try to do that again. He's going to try to lock it straight in the feature, and really surprising to see Evan C struggle. I thought off the start he was going to get into second. He has drifted all the way back to 6th, as we mentioned, and one of the best pro drivers on the circuit, not only in those sprint cars, but when it comes to late model racing too. Also one of the best, as we got a battle for second on the left-hand side of your screen.
Yeah, second and third going at it right now as they work down into 1 and 2. Elby down to the inside there on Garrett Halsey. Halsey back to the outside. Meanwhile, to the right of your screen, you got Gunnar Harris in the 5th and final transfer position. Not too far away is that 33 of the CFM Esports Magilla Speed Shop entry of Evan C. But we come to what is 7 down, 3 laps left to run. Steve, make it 2 for Aiden Beerline.
Definitely Beerline lead the way, but you know, Shaun English making some contact with the outside wall a couple of times off turn number 2 there. And you got to wonder, is that going to really hurt that car? As you look at Harris right there, it drilling. It's where coming down to 2 laps to go.
White flag is out. We've already got Aiden Beerline down into turn number 3 off for corner number 4. He nearly got to lap traffic. Aiden Beerline will win heat race number 2. Garrett Halsey home in 2nd. Adam Elby 3rd. 4th is going to go to Shaun English. Gunnar Harris going to round out the top 5. Then we go back to Evan C into position number 6. 7th is going to be Chad Griggs, Michael Cooper in 8th. Travis Oldfield, Bo Krebs will make up your top 10. Jesse DeRosa and Jason Haynes will go through heat race number 2 just to make sure that there's no post-race penalties. Beerline, Halsey, Elby, English, and Harris are your top 5. C, Griggs, Cooper, Oldfield, Krebs will find themselves going to a B main. Heat race number 3 going to line up like this. It'll be Logan Romsey starting up alongside Blake Giglio on the front row of heat race number 3. Then we go back to row number 2, Tanner Pettit alongside Kenny Hoffman, couple of current world championship drivers in the 410 wing sprint car division will make up to row number 2. Austin Halsey will line up at a position number 5, and from 6, it's the 11 car of Zach McLaughlin. We go back to the 4th row inside. Bryce Hornstein will line up at a position 7. Position number 8 will be the 4 car of John Helms. Row number 5, inside and outside. Robert Satterfield will start position number 9, and Shaun Crossike lines up the 8 machine, I should say, from position number 10. And the 6th and final row, Matthew Crokey in car number 2 will start from position number 11, and from 12, Merle Garing in car number 6 will start from position number 12. Drake, heat number 3. I got to say, the opening 2 heat races so far, they've been pretty good. They've been fast and entertaining. No doubt we're going to see the same sort of thing for the remainder of the night.
Absolutely, and especially, too, this racetrack's got a lot of grip right now. It's not very slick in any spots, really. I mean, as we look into turns 1 and 2, it's got a slick spot there about in the bottom into 1 and 2, but that's about it. So there's a lot of grip to be found, but also there's a lot of speed, which can make it hard for these wing sprint cars to maneuver and pass. But the racing definitely going to get better as the night goes on, as we're set to go for heat race 3 of 5 here on the inaugural running of the Shaun Timmerman Memorial.
Heat 3, Logan Rumsey, Blake Giglio, Tanner Pettit, Kenny Hoffman. Again, 3 World Championship drivers that I can think of and that I can see make that for 3 and 1 Formula 1. We go green here in heat race number 3, and it's going to be Logan Rumsey to get the jump. Tanner Pettit can immediately look for the slider into turn number 1 and 2. He's going to pull off the second spot. Does Blake Giglio along with Kenny Hoffman. Hoffman now trying to go right through the middle. Steve, leading lap number 1 is going to be Logan Rumsey.
Logan Rumsey showing a fast way around here up on the high side as you look at Tanner Petit there, and Blake is actually closing in on him in a hurry as lap number 2 is in the books as we're on lap number 3. Oh, we got some contact mid-pack. One around. One losing his wing, Brett.
Yeah, Bryce Hornstein. Oh, look at Pettit into the wall. Here comes Giglio now. Giglio going to slide into turn number 1 and 2. He'll slide into position number 2. Pettit comes back at Giglio off for turn number 4. Lap number 4 is in the books. There is Robert Satterfield, I believe. In fact, Bryce Hornstein. Oh, boy, I tell you what, Drake, that's not once but twice Tanner Pettit has got the wall off turn number 2.
Yeah, Tanner Pettit really forcing the issue off at turn number 2, and we mentioned it here at Eldora. These walls do not move, and that's going to cost him the second spot to Giglio. Giglio was able to avoid that first big hit. Pettit had, you have to wonder, too, like Steven was talking about, the right rears of these race cars can be fragile with the shocks, the radius rods, bird cages, all that can be very fragile. Of course, the iRacing damage model may not affect that, but we'll have to wait and see, so keep an eye on Tanner Pettit. Meanwhile, in that 5th and final transfer spot, John Helms in one of the Shaun Timmerman Memorial cars.
Yeah, you really love to see these cars get around here, especially seeing as though these drivers have made it into the final server. You'd love to see as many of these cars make it to the main event. Speaking of going to the main event, well, we're a lap and a half away for Logan Rumsey, who has already led the first 9 laps of this third heat race of the night. We've still got 2 more heat races to come. Blake Giglio closing in right now, but time is certainly running out for the 4 machine of Giglio as Rumsey works his way down into turn number 3. Off for corner number 4, checkered flag is out. Rumsey gets the win in heat race number 3. Blake Giglio home in 2nd, Tanner Pettit 3rd, Kenny Hoffman 4th. John Helms going to make up your top 5. Then you go back to Matthew Crokey in position number 6, Shaun Crossike, Zach McLaughlin, Merle Gehring, Bryce Hornstein to make up the top 10. Robert Satterfield and Austin Halsey will make up the remaining drivers in heat race number 3. There is your results for heat number 3. Steve McMillan, you are going to take us through starting grid for heat race number 4.
All right, on the pole is Aiden Foster. To his outside, it'd be Matthew Powell. Row number 2 to the inside to be Eric Whitner, and to his outside, Ryan Hodge. Row number 3 to the inside, Ross Kaiser. To his outside, Gavin Chatham. Rylan Gray into 06, and Shane Yost to his outside. Rolling off 9th to 9th in car number 11, Jeff Creamer. To his outside into 15 is Seth Gregory. Chad Coe in the number 11 machine. We'll start off on the inside with Ryan Washcott. Is it Washcott?
Washok.
Was shocked. There you go.
Yeah, with shock. I just knew for some reason, Steve. I just knew. As soon as I seen who was rolling out of position number 12, I just thought, well, I get the feeling that Steve's going to say something he shouldn't say. But you know what? We all have those names, right, Drake, that we just can't pronounce.
Oh, yeah. Happens to everybody.
You gotta admit, though, Brett, I'm more of a late model person. So
Oh yeah. Now, you're more of an asphalt kind of guy now. You know, you're still holding on to that number 1 spot from July.
hey, that's all that matters, right?
All right, here we go. Heat race number 4 of 5, penultimate heat race of the night. Lights are out on the iRacing.com pace truck. I think we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 pro drivers, or even 5 that have held the World Championship license in this one. So, Drake, the World Championship drivers continue on here in this final race of it, the first annual Shaun Timmerman Memorial Race. Drake, on the leaders to the green flag. Heat number 4 about to start.
Well, one of those pro drivers on the inside of the front row, that white, green, and black number 20 of Aiden Forrester, brings us down to the green flag, and he is gone into turn number 1. He sweeps up to the high side. Everybody else left fighting for that second spot, but it's going to be Aiden Forrester leading the charge down the backstretch over Whitner. Whitner is going to get slid by Kaiser.
Boy, I tell you what, go back to Monday night in the World Championship races, the iRacing Thrustmaster World of Outlaws World Championship. Kaiser was on the move at Knoxville, and boy, he had some serious speed before he just fell off. Meanwhile, Matthew Powell now going to move into position number 3, moving Whitner back to the 4th spot. Then you go back to Ryland Gray in the 5th and final transfer spot, but it's Aiden Forster leading the way. Powell into the concrete wall, and so many times we've said it, the walls and the concrete walls, they just do not move. Ryland Gray tries to put the move there on Powell in 3 and 4. He completes the pass, Steve, but boy, I tell you what, Powell's got his work cut out for him if he wants to get back by the 06 of Ryland Gray.
He definitely does. He's in the final transfer spot. Ryland Gray in that 4th position. But Aiden Forrester, I mean, he is way out there with Ross Kaiser and Eric Whitner right there in that 3rd spot as your top 3.
Top 3 again.
Trying to rebrake. It got kind of fuzzy on me there.
No, is that where you're going with? All right, it's Matthew Powell right now in the 5th and final transfer position. And again, top 5 are going to make it into the main event, which will be contested over 48 laps. Aiden Forster, almost a 2-second lead right now over Ross Kaiser. And Ross, well, he's got the nickname Wreck-It Ross. He just loves to just eat the concrete wall, whether it's the right rear cushion or whether it's that whole right side of the sprint car. You know he's either going to go to victory lane or he's going to put it into the fence one way or another. Good old Wreck-It Ross Kaiser. Drake is on the move right now in 2nd spot.
He's got the 2nd spot almost on lock right now over Eric Whitner. Ryland Gray, the local Indiana non-wing sprint car ace, bolting the wings on here on iRacing. He currently runs in the 4th spot. Matthew Powell in the 5th and final transfer spot. He's not totally out of the weeds. From the 99 of Shane Yost, there's 1 left to run here in this heat race, Brett.
Chad Coe putting the move there on Yost. Oh, no problems. Oh, there is huge problems there. He's off for turn number 4. He's already taken the checkered flag. Aiden Forster going to be victorious here in what will be heat race number 4. And some late drama there on the final lap for Chad Coe and Shane Yost. Seth Gregory as well had some problems at the start of that one. But heat race number 4 is going to be done and dusted. It will be in the books. Penultimate heat race of the night is done. Let's take a look. Drake, I tell you what, I'm going to let you go through our finishing lineup and then move straight into our starting lineup for heat race number 5.
Aiden Forrester with the win in the SpeedShop51.com. Number 20, Ross Kaiser in 2nd. Eric Whitner 3rd. Ryland Gray 4th. And Matthew Powell rounding out your transfer cars. Jeff Kramer, Brian Washak, Shane Yost, of course, Yost with the big crash on the backstretch, along with Seth Gregory and Gavin Chatham, will go to one of the 2 B main events as we gear up for our 5th and final heat race in the inaugural Shaun Timmerman Memorial. Chase Stewart on the inside of row number 1, to his outside is Ross Corinta in that beautiful blue and black number 10. Riley Stewart and James Edens will make up the 2nd row. Edens, of course, well known on the World of Outlaws circuit. Connor Dudek in the 5th starting spot, and 2 is outside the 77 of Dustin Sargent. Row number 4, Ryan Pageant, and to his outside, the 45 of Bradley Cox. Moving now to the 9th starting spot, the 91 of Matt Grimm, and to his outside in the 56 is Randy Shreves. Your 6th and final row will comprise of Kyle Vaughn and the 0 of Damian Kiefer. 12 cars set to go 10 laps. Top 5 move straight into the Shaun Timmerman Memorial feature event. That, of course, 48 laps. 6th on back will go to one of the 2 B main events.
He spoke about the 52 car being well known in the iRacing World Championships. In fact, one of only 2, maybe 3 drivers to contest all Sprint Car World Championships, to contest all World of Outlaw Late Model World Championships, and to contest the USAC Non-Wing World Championships. So James Edens again, he's a very accomplished iRacer and a very accomplished sim racer. Here we go. Chase Stewart is going to lead the field to the drop of the green flag. Steve Pitt, the final heat race of the night. Look at Riley Stewart trying to make the move already from that 3rd row. He's now into position number 3 now, coming after Ross Carinta for that 2nd spot.
Give it to Riley Stewart. They're taking over 2nd, and now look at James Edens to the inside. He will take over 2nd. As right now, Riley Stewart running in that 3rd spot. Your top 3, Stewart and Stewart.
I tell you what, Paget tried the inside there on Carinta and Connor Dudek as they went side by side through 3 and 4. They're still side by side through 1 and 2. Meanwhile, Dudek nearly catches the concrete wall there on the exit of turn number 2. Here comes Paget with a big slide job into turn number 3 and 4. Back to the inside goes Ross Carinta. Carinta had a good starting position right now, but right now he finds himself right on the bubble. Here comes Matt Grimm in car number 91. Meanwhile, James Edens leads the way over Chase Stewart. Then you go back to Riley Stewart. No relation to those 2 Stewarts. Now here comes Stewart. That's Chase Stewart, who's all over the back of James Edens. Well, was all over the back of Edens, down into 1 as they work through turn number 3. Drake coming to 5 to go.
Hot 4, pretty much single file formation. Now Riley Stewart dives to the inside of Chase Stewart. Again, no relation between those 2. Chase finds a lane around the outside, gets back in the 2nd. Here comes Riley down on the inside, and Connor Dudek watching on as he's got to run, gets into the back of Riley Stewart and get into turn number 1.
Yeah, Dudek just giving Riley Stewart a little bit of a hurry and say, hey, come on, let's go. We've got a transfer spot at the moment. Speaking of the transfer spots, Matt Grimm has gotten by Ross Carinta. So Carinta went from the front row. He's now back to position number 6. Into the wall goes Connor Dudek, and now that brings the 91 car of Matt Grimm into the picture right now. 4th and 5th on screen, Steve. We come to 2 to go here in the final heat race of the night. James Edens comfortably out in front.
James Edens out front. Chase Stewart in 2nd, Riley Stewart in 3rd. 4th is Connor Duke, and Matt Grimm rounds out your top 5. White flag in the air, Brett. 1 more to go.
1 more to go for the Alpha Industries number 52 car of James Edens into 3 and 4. Final heat race of the night that's going to belong to the Alpha Industries number 52 machine of James Edens. He will get the job done here in heat race number 5. Chase Stewart leading Riley Stewart for 2nd and 3rd position. He'll take a look at the rest of the field. Connor Dudek will grab 4th. Matt Grimm to round out your top 5 before we move into B-main competition, which we contested over 12 laps, and the top 2. So there it is. The top 5 going through Paget, Carinta, Shreves, Vaughan, and the DKeeve Plum Wild podcast number 51 machine of Damien Kiefer comes home in position number 10. We get ready for the first 2 B-mains on the program. B-main number 1 will see 17 cars that will line up like this. Jason Randolph and Matthew Crokey will make up the front row in B-main number 1. Row number 2, Ryan Paget alongside Chad Griggs in that 2nd row. Ryan Washock alongside Cody Williams in row number 3. Row 4 will see Zach McLaughlin and Randy Shreves. Row number 5, inside and outside, Travis Oldfield alongside Seth Gregory from position number 10. Jason LaViolette and Bryce Hornstein will make up the 11th and 12th starting positions. Then we go back to row 7. It's going to be Damien Keefe from 13, Jesse DeRosa from 14. The final 3 spots, it's going to belong to Chad Coate from position number 15, Robbie Swan from 16, and from 17th will be Austin Halsey here in B-main number 1. Drake, it is 12 laps. Top 2 will go through And this will make up the inside of the final 2 rows of tonight's 48-lap main event to make it what will be a 29-car field here for the first annual Shaun Timmerman Memorial Race.
Well said there, Brent. Exactly the case there. Jason Ryandoff and Matthew Crook, the front row pageant, and Griggs, will make up row number 2. And pretty similar to that C main event we saw in the prelim feature. Essentially a win you're in. Top 2 got to advance as we're set to go. Green flag racing here in the first of 2 B mains. Out of turn number 4, Randolph gets on the throttle. We're underway.
Randolph is going to lead the field, the 17-car field down into 1 and 2. Boy, look out, Ryan Paget. Boy, he made it known that he's not here to muck around. He wants to get the win, but he also wants to get into the big dance. Later on, he holds on to position number 2. Jason Randolph leads the way. Zach McLaughlin, Matthew Croakey, McLaughlin down to the low side. 3-1. Look out, there's some contact up for turn number 4. 3, 4, 5 cars getting involved in that one. Will stay green. Lap number 3 is in the books. Matthew Croakey is now on the outside looking in by just 1 spot, Steve.
Ryan leading the way in that 35 machine. Jason Randolph currently running a second. Matthew right there in that 3rd spot, trying to, stalk your prey, kind of pounce on it. That's what he's trying to do. As Travis Oldfield sets the quickest time so far in this C main.
Ryan Paget still leading the way. Jason Randolph to the inside. Paget runs a cutback line. Look out, problems there for the 47 car. But here comes Matthew Croakey to the outside of Jason Randolph. Got some mechanical issues in that number 47 machine. And boy, he's going to have to fall back to what is now position number 4 as Travis Oldfield. Drake has found his way to position number 3 and now coming up to Croakey for the final transfer spot.
Croakey with the slip off at turn number 2. That's going to open up the door for Oilfield. He's got it at the moment. Croakey back to the inside. Big slider in 1 and 2. Clears by a couple. Carlink smacks the wall again. Here's Oilfield. There's contact. Randolph back in the mix. They're 3 wide now for the second and final transfer spot. Randolph clears up. Croakey's into the wall and he's up and over. His Shaun Timmerman Memorial is over.
Problems again for the 47 car of Jason Randolph, but somehow keeps it going there in that 47. Now a slider on Oldfield. Here comes Zach McLaughlin as they work 3 wide down the front straightaway. Oldfield and McLaughlin make contact. That'll give Randolph a secured spot at the moment. Now bring in La Violette in that number 12 machine, or the 007 machine, but coming to 3 to go. Ryan Paget, he's got a huge lead right now over Jason Randolph, Steve.
Ryan Paget, yes, did a great job in this last chance qualifier. Jason Randolph in second, and Jason Violet there in that 3rd spot. 2 laps to go here, Brett.
2 to go for your leader, the 98 of Ryan Paget. He'll now come to the white flag, half a mile around the famous Eldora Speedway, the house that Earl built. And right now, Ryan Paget, he owns the keys here in the B main into 3 off for corner number 4. He'll go right to the top side. He's got quite a big gap back to Jason Randolph. Ryan Paget gets the win here in B main number 1 competition. Second will go to Jason Randolph. Take a look here at your finishing results here in just a few moments' time, just to make sure it is all official and no post-race penalties to see. Make sure the top 2 have not changed. They have not. Well, I tell you what, there it is, Ryan Paget and Jason Randolph. They continue on here in the Shaun Timmerman Memorial Race. They will be headed to the 48-lap main event as we get set for B main number 2. Steve, I believe you got our starting lineup.
On the front row, 9 in the 33B Evan C. To his outside in the number 11, Jeff Creamer. Row number 2 to the inside, and car number 54 is Casey Simmons, and then to his outside in the, I believe that's the number 8 machine of Shaun Timmerman.
Cross-arc, that'll do.
There you go. Row number 3 to the inside, Ross Correnta, and to his outside, Michael Cooper. Row number 4 to the inside, Shane Yost, and to his outside, Nick
Klosterman.
There you go. See there?
I got you back.
You got my back. Hey, that's all that matters, right?
Yes, sir. That's right.
Row inside in number 6 is Merrill. Is it Merrill?
Mel Gehring?
Is that right? There you go. To his outside, Kyle Vaughn. Bo Cribs at a 168 to his outside. It's Gavin Chatham. Peyton Burton and Robert Satterfield, 13th and 14th. Bradley Cock there in the number 45 and to his outside, rode off 16th. It'd be Jason Haynes. Ryan Hodge will roll off 17th with Dustin Sargent there in the 77.
And that's all.
There you go.
All right, final B main of tonight's Shaun Timmerman Memorial Race. 18 cars doing battle for 2 laps around the Eldora Speedway. Drake, this is literally at the final 2 spots are on the line. We get ready. We're underway for 12 laps, Drake, around Eldora.
Evan C., who was probably one of the favorites to win this Shaun Timmerman Memorial coming into the night, now leads him down the back straightaway in the second and final C main. Casey Simmons currently with the second and final spot as they're 3 wide for third off of turn number 4.
She's really good racing here at the Eldora Speedway, especially going on for that transfer position right now. It's the 11 machine who holds on. In fact, he holds on to position number 3, and that's Creamer. You're watching Yost and Carinta. 3/4 way up the racetrack now, cuts it back right through the middle. Shane Yost, remember, he was quick in that heat race before. He had some drama there on the final lap, and then you go back to Kate and go up and there in front of them. Casey Simons in that 54 machine has got Creamer Steve, who's looking all up all over the back of that 54.
Out coming down the back straightaway to turn number 3. Pretty much single file your top 3. Yost and Carinta there, balance side by side, and flying at the Shane Yost for that 4th spot. But Evan C. dominant in this last chance qualifier in that number 33 machine.
C and Simons, 2 current iRacing World of Outlaws Thrustmaster World Championship drivers here for season 2023-2024. Right now they hold the 2 transfer positions. Jeff Creamer back there to position number 3, who's not let Casey Simons get away just yet. And, well, Drake at the halfway distance. Well, we know Evan C is comfortably out in front, but Casey Simons, is the pressure going to start to mount from the back of the 11 machine of Jeff Creamer?
Well, Creamer is definitely not holding anything back. Watch him in the turns 1 and 2 there. That last lap was really high up on corner entry as they both about smacked the wall down the backstretch. When does Creamer pull out and make the move? He's right on the bumper as Simmons off the 4. He dives low. This could be the run right here. No, he tucks back in behind the rear bumper as they work through 1 and 2.
Very surprised to see him not pull the slider off into 1 and 2, but it won't matter because he doesn't need to. Simon's got into the wall, so the pressure was starting to mount on the 54 machine, and Simons and Creamer go side by side with 3 to run. Simons slider on Creamer into 1 off for turn number 2. Creamer going to tuck in line behind the 54 car of Casey Simons. Go back. Both of them go back to the top shelf. They've got the 26 car a lap down right now, as that is going to be, I think, Klosterman now in that 26. Oh, Creamer getting balked there by the lap car. You've got 2 to run for your race leader of Evan C. And right now, it's still Simons holding under the final transfer spot, Steve. Final lap, final time.
Final time, Evan C. with a huge lead going into turn number 3. Simons right there in second, coming off of turn number 4. Evan C. will pick up the win. Casey Simons in second. Jeff Creamer in third. Shane Yost and Ross Carinta there rounds out your top 5.
Well, our field is set for the first annual running of the Shaun Timmerman Memorial here at the Eldora Speedway. 410 wings sprint cars in action from, well, politely put it, Shaun's favourite racetrack. We have got a warm-up session slated upon us right now. There is 10 minutes of that, and I believe, I'm not sure whether they have reset the track, so they have. So the track has been reset back to 0%. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this opportunity right now to step aside here on Ultimate Dirt TV. We'll pay some bills, come back with your main event on the other side of these quick commercial breaks.
Hello iRacers, this is Greg Hill, Executive Producer, and this is our mid-season development update. With just a handful of weeks left to go in Season 4, we're quickly approaching the conclusion of the 2023 competition year, and what a year it's been. Of course, every year at iRacing is unique. It's the nature of our business that the sim and racing service are constantly evolving. However, I can't think of a period that's been more eventful and impactful for the future of sim racing at iRacing than these past 12 months. We have established key new partnerships that will help our brand of motorsport grow at a global scale and reach all new audiences and racing fans. We have strengthened existing partnerships and secured a critical license that will allow us to return to our roots with NASCAR and NASCAR team properties. And of course, throughout all of this, we have invested significantly into the ongoing development and improvement of our great racing simulation and racing service. Now, I do intend to share some of the cool things to come in the Season 1 build, but first let's take a moment to focus on one of the bigger picture developments I alluded to a moment ago. As I touched on in detail in a previous update, a significant focus this year, and last, has been the strategic expansion of our staff across many talented teams. This growth will enable iRacing to operate from a position of strength for years to come and ensure that we will continue to deliver an unparalleled modern simulation experience. On that note, we're thrilled to upgrade our graphics team later this year through the addition of multiple industry-leading rendering programmers who will help evolve iRacing's graphic tech in a way never before seen on this platform. These developers have spent the last 20 years building and leading graphics and rendering teams across a broad spectrum of powerful graphic engines such as idTech, Unity, Unreal, Decima, and Glacier. Our reconstituted graphics team will be more formidable than ever, and we couldn't be more excited about what's to come. This will be a big lift, and in the short term, we will continue improving the current rendering technology and graphics. Now for another big picture update that I know many have been following closely. The status of our advanced new weather system, which we call Tempest internally. While we aren't quite ready to guarantee Tempest for December, we are now confident enough to say that the release of this incredibly complex system is imminent. Tempest was built from the ground up and consists of several interconnected systems that simulate not only rain and the effect that water has on the racetrack, race cars, and surrounding area, but also the physical components that combine to create various types of weather. This system is fueled by extensive real-world data from the very locations where you'll be racing. Together with our dynamic track systems, the combined experience is unparalleled in simulation and gaming. It's hard to describe until you can experience it for yourself, but for those of you who race at these tracks in the real world and have had the fortune, or misfortune, to do so in the wet, reliving that in iRacing with physically accurate and true-to-life puddling is like nothing else out there. You'll feel a tug of resistance when you drive through wet areas, and when things get really dicey, you'll experience aquaplaning. Wait until you see our aero-heavy race cars vacuum up water from the track and redistribute it into the air and elsewhere on the track, drying up the racing line rapidly in the process. Recalibrate your expectation on what a race has in store for you as you search for the line based on the multitude of dynamics at play and the always changing nature of the track and the weather systems. Or, if you see a dark cloud looming on the horizon, is it on its way to you? Have your teammate check the weather radar or query your crew chief for an update. The Tempest project has been a long journey for us spanning multiple years. The idea took form in discussions and brainstorming back in January of 2020, followed by initial technical design a year later. For much of that time, the project was helmed by a small R&D team focused on the weather systems and the data model. Today, we have the combined effort of dozens of developers across web engineering, graphics, physics, tire, sound, and back-end engineering, track art, car art, VFX, production, QA, and design. Talk about a team effort. We're quite proud of what we've built, and we're even more excited to release it to iRacers. We all look forward to making it rain soon. After a build stuffed to the brim with new cars last season, our team has been focusing on some of our longer-term R&D initiatives, such as Rain, our aero modeling program, oval refresh, and tire model updates. That said, we're excited to be debuting one new car in December, the Audi R8 LMS Evo 2 GT3. The Evo 2 is part of our initiative to keep our GT3 fleet modern and looking great. Similar efforts will continue in the new year with multiple additions and replacements to our GT3 offerings. We have a diverse set of track content slated for release in this build. No surprises here as this has all been announced. On the oval side, we're excited to release Slinger Speedway. Slinger is so much fun to drive, and you all have a blast turning laps at the world's fastest quarter-mile oval. And yes, folks, it will include the figure 8 configuration. Mugello Circuit is looking amazing and will also debut in December. Not only does this track look amazing, but it's a blast to drive, and it's a circuit we've wanted to experience in iRacing for years now. We're really excited to be able to make that possible finally. Okayama Circuit is one of our most popular tracks on the service. It's a compelling drive across various cars, especially those in our Rookie Series. However, it has some of the oldest artwork on the service. Okayama will be re-released for free with modern artwork that meets our current standards for quality. It looks great. Outside of these highlights, there are a lot more fixes, improvements, and additions coming in Season 1 2024, and we'll provide a comprehensive list with the release notes as we approach the build. There's a lot more going on at iRacing, and I could really go on here for a long time, but let's save some of these updates for a later date. That said, a handful of items before we conclude. Our scanning department has been busy. Process data was delivered today to the team for both Portimao and Navarra, and our production and our teams are already underway. The scan team has just returned from a big trip to the heart of oval racing country in North Carolina, where they scanned an SRX car and also a handful of different street stock car bodies. We're also working on a micro sprint, which will provide a great entry point to dirt oval racing. This car will lend itself well to Millbridge Speedway, the already released Kern, and a handful of current and future short tracks on iRacing. Oval Refresh has a full complement of developers working on it each day, and they're making significant progress. These efforts will continue for some time as we iterate the many systems involved. That said, we don't want to wait until we're quote-unquote done to release these improvements to the service. With the December build, asphalt ovals have been updated to produce an improved dynamic racing experience. Track surface grip levels will change more rapidly as temperature rises and falls depending on weather, time of day, and the energy the cars are putting into the track. Be prepared to tune setups for changing track conditions and search for grip as various lanes heat up and cool down throughout a race session. I hope you found this informative, and if you'd like to learn a bit more, I'd encourage you to go to iRacing.com, mouse over news, and click on Developers Blog, where you'll find a handful of additional screenshots and other media. That's it for now. Thanks for all your continued support, and see you out there on the track.
All right, we are back here on Ultimate Dirt TV, coverage of the first annual Shaun Timmerman Memorial Race. It is time we go racing. We've got less than 1 minute in this warm-up session. The track has been reset. The drivers, well, they've had 10 minutes to go in and wear this racetrack in for what will be 48 laps of competition here for the first annual running of the Shaun Timmerman Memorial Race. Brett Wheeler joined alongside Drake York, Steve McMillan in a three-man booth. Drake, well, it's here, and the time now is to find out who has got enough speed, who's got enough fuel in the tank to go 48 laps around Eldora Speedway to determine and who will be crowned the first annual Shaun Timmerman Memorial Race winner.
And obviously, not only because it's a good payday for whoever wins this thing. That's not why these guys want to win. It's in honor of Shaun Timmerman, who we talked about at great length with Dave Allen and Sparky and so many other great people that knew Shaun. And a lot of the racers in the field tonight we've heard from about what it means for them not only to have this race, but to be able to honor their friend like this. So it's going to be an emotional win for whoever wins this race, no matter if they were very close with Shaun or maybe raced against him a couple times. It's going to be special for whoever wins this one tonight at Eldora.
All right, well, let's take a look at your starting lineup. I'll go through your starting lineup here tonight for the Shaun Timmerman Memorial Race. On pole in car number 98, that is Tim Ryan. To the outside of the front row, Drake gets Aiden Beeline from position number 2.
As we move back into row number 2, one of the favorites, in fact, a prelim winner and server tonight, the 41 of Logan Rumsey. To his outside, the SpeedShop51.com, number 20 of Aiden Forrester.
Steve, row number 3, who we got?
James Eaton to the inside, and that 52 to his outside. In car number 4, David Allen.
We go back to row number 4 inside. It's the 88 machine of Garrett Halsey. To his outside, car number 4, Blake Giglio from position number 8, Drake.
Making up row number 5 on the inside is Ross Kaiser, and to his outside in the 40, rounding out your top 10 starters, Chase Stewart.
In row number 6 tonight, it'd be Ty Showblock.
Showblock?
Showblock, all right. And Adam LB in the 74.
We go to row number 7, 10. A pedal lines up the 24 from 13. From 14, it's Eric Whitner in car 17.
Starting back on row number 8 in the 96, that's Riley Stewart. And to Stewart's outside, another one of the Speed Shop 51 cars, that's Ryan Avila.
The 960 of Sean English roll off 17th. 18th will be Kenny Hoffman in that number 11 machine.
Roland Gray will start 19th. 20th is going to be Connor Dudek.
Back in row number 11, Dylan Ayler in the 24, and the 54F of Gunnar Harris starts 22nd.
Row number 12 beat 21 of number 4 of John Helms to his outside, Matthew Powell.
Row number 13, Matt Grimm in car 91. From 26 is Ryan Paget.
Row 14, Evan C. in car number 33, and the Apex Auto Glass and Tinting 47 to Jason Randolph.
In your final starter tonight, it's Casey Simmons in that 54 machine, or Simons.
Just saying something cool here, guys. We've got a 4-wide salute, so we're not going green just yet. We've got a 4-wide salute and the 4 car. We've seen a number of drivers run this here tonight. It is being led, and the field has been paced here by David Allen. Again, we know the contribution and the work that David Allen has done, and no better time for that car to lead this field here in a 4-wide salute. That number 4 machine of the Forever Shaun number 4 machine of the Shaun Timmerman ride. Again, we could just show the other drivers, but you know what? Chag, I don't think there's any need to, because all we need to look at is why we're here for, and this man right here.
And David Allen, of course, you mentioned it, Brett, one of the guys really in charge of putting this race together, announced tonight that the second running of this race will be in October and will pay $10,000 to the winner. So something that they're committed to, especially David, a good friend of the late, great Shaun Timmerman, pacing the field here at Eldora as we get ready to go for the inaugural Shaun Timmerman Memorial Race, 48 laps the distance.
Well, I believe so. They've already taken what is essentially the green flag. So looking at this, I believe that they are going to run about 40 or 45 laps, and they're just going to let the field get back into rows of 2x2, get into their correct position, and then they are going to let them loose. So right now, we're pacing the field under what is green flag conditions. So I believe it's going to be a 45-lap feature event, and I think our field is set right now. Tim Ryan, Aiden Beerline. Very quickly, Steve, who you got to win?
Well, you know, it's hard to not pick Tim Ryan.
Drake York, who you got?
And this is a tough one. I think really any of the Speed Shop 51 cars got a good shot at this, but Logan Rumsey's just been flexing his muscles all night since we got in the air here on Ultimate Dirt TV. It's going to be hard to go against that 41 machine.
No, I tell you what, I'll go the man on the outside of the front row, Aiden Beerline. I think he might have what it takes to go to victory later. But here we go. The field rolls off into corner number 3, off for corner number 4. 45 laps will be left on the board once we go racing. It's the first annual Shaun Timmerman Memorial. We are live for 45 here at the Eldora Speedway. Tim Ryan is going to lead this 29-car field down into the first and second turn. Logan Rumsey immediately went to the inside on Aiden Beerline. Meanwhile, just to the right of your screen, you see James Edens in the 52 car, putting it there to Aiden Forster in that 20s. They work and complete what is essentially lap number 1. We're nearly 3 wide for the runner-up spot, Steve.
3 wide for the runner-up. You are correct. And James Edens puts down the fastest lap of the night. But Tim Ryan leading the way with Aiden Beerline in his hip pocket. Logan Rumsey right there running a little different line, the middle line, as he goes into turn number 3. Bear, watch out, because that 20 car is on the outside, moving up quickly.
Tell you who's moving up quickly is the 13 machine of Aiden Beerline there. Now he's going to take a look. I thought he might have been taking a look down to the inside, down the back straightaway on your race leader. Now cuts it low, right through the middle off turn number 4. Tim Ryan still leads the way. Here comes a slide jump by Aiden Beerline. Now Drake, Tim Ryan has to go back to the inside. You race for the leaders down the back straightaway.
For the first time, Ryan has to go on offense. He slides clear across the groove, clears Beerline. Beerline back to the inside. How much does Beerline clear him by? Beerline clears him by about a couple car lengths. Ryan with the run. Does Beerline defend? No, he leaves the inside open for Ryan. Ryan hooks the bottom off of turn number 4 at the stripe. Aiden Beerline, your new race leader.
Beerline continuing to lead the race. Battle is on for the top 2, making top 3 spots as Aiden Forster now going to throw his hat into the mix on the top left of your screen down to the bottom right. You've got James Eden, Blake Giglio, along with 6th place runner of Garrett Halsey right there. So there's a 3-car battle there for what is 5, 6 and 7 position right now. But Ryan still holds on to the runner-up position. Again, Forster back to the top shelf. And I'm going to say, right there, Steve, Tim Ryan doing something different right now. He's rolling the bottom side through 1 and 2. Is he going to save those tyres for later on?
Well, you know, we've seen tires saving it for long runs of the tires. And maybe that's what he's doing, running the bottom. But you look at Forster there, takes over that 2nd spot. Forster, and right behind him is Logan Rumsey. So Tim Ryan, he is falling back a little bit slowly at a time.
Well, he's doing one of 2 things. He's saving tyres or saving fuel. Either way, he's rolling the bottom side. Something that we don't normally see Tim Ryan do, especially at a track like Eldora Speedway. Forster just in front of the Alpha Industries number 41 car on screen right there is Logan Rumsey. Rumsey has found his way to a podium position. Not before Tim Ryan again still works back to the inside, Drake.
Now 3 wide into 3. Rumsey threads the needle, slides across the groove in front of Forrester. Can't clear Ryan at the stripe. Ryan holding serve on the bottom, as you guys said. Really the only car making the bottom side work towards the front of the field and maybe trying to save some tires. But Logan Rumsey wants to get to the front. He wants to get to the front now. That Alpha Industries number 41. Move him into 2nd as he's almost a 2nd behind your race leader, Aiden Beerline. He has stretched out a very impressive lead here in the early stands of this one.
Forster back to the top shelf. He goes through 3 and 4 again. Ryan going back and committed to the bottom side. All the way around this big half a mile and almost 3 wide. Forster trying to split the gap, but Rumsey's got the run on the outside. Ryan's got some good exit speed off turn number 2 on the bottom side. Forster trying to go low, trying to find a different line to get back by and get by the 98 car, that Altus Esports Speed Factory number 98 machine of Tim Ryan. We've got 30 to go. It'll be 29 as they come off turn number 4 with Aiden Beerline, Steve. And just behind Aiden Forster, here comes James Eden. Eden's has found his way. He's found some speed right now.
He has. He's in that 5th spot there. And he's chasing down Aiden Forster there in that number 20 machine, I believe it is.
Yeah,
or
20.
25? 20. Scoring's a little different, so that's what's throwing me off there, especially for a blind man. But look at Rumsey run the high line. You see Tim Ryan there on the bottom. Rumsey right now still currently in that 2nd spot. 27 laps to go with those 2 battling out. Forster and Eden's battling out for 4th and 5th.
I got to say, Rumsey's doing a nice job at the moment. Oh, we'll go yellow. Yellow on the raceway first time. We see the yellow flag coming out here in this main event server. Not sure if we can find out what happened here. I was a little late to the program. Evans C got some damage there in the 33 machine. Was that the reason for the caution? No. 17 car of Eric Whitner, I believe. Oh yeah, got tagged there by Gunnar Harris. David Allen involved in that one as well in the 4 machine. I think that was David Allen, either that or it's John Helms, one of the two. One of the 2 drivers repping the 4 machine here tonight for the Shaun Timmerman Memorial Race. Drake, entertaining opening what has been nearly 20 laps, 18 laps.
Yeah, about half race distance under green flag right there, and surprised we didn't get to traffic, especially with the kind of laps that we were seeing at the front of this field with Aiden Beerline hitting the charge. But now this is the first chance we've gotten to see Logan Rumsey in the 2nd spot, and don't forget about Tim Ryan running back there in the 3rd spot. This is going to get him right behind the top 2, and we're going to really see what the bottom can do, at least in the short run right here, to see what Ryan's got. You can see on the bottom, it looks like there's grip, but man, does it look hard to hit at both ends of the Eldora Speedway. So Ryan definitely doing something that no one else is, and we talk about saving tires, and sometimes places look a lot more abrasive than they are, and these guys definitely have a better idea than we do sitting up here. But it's going to be interesting to see as we're back underway. Aiden Beerline leads the charge back into turn 1.
Well, here you go, roughly. If you use 0.7 gallons a lap for 45 laps, you're going to need 31.7 gallons. You can only fill these tanks to 30 gallons, so I think that the fuel strategy is going to be important, especially later on in this race, just to keep those tyres underneath you, but also to make sure you've got enough fuel in the tank to get by. You're watching right now Tim Ryan, Aiden Forster, James Eders, and then Blake Giglio. Three of those 4 cars right there were all running the boards, and Tim Ryan, well, he's the lone soldier down there. Again, he's still making the bottom side work. Stevers, here comes Aiden Forster with a run with James Eders, Blake Giglio following suit to the top.
Definitely, you look right there, Logan Rumsey, he exits that turn number 4 off the bottom and runs the top on 1 and 2, off of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. He's trying not to let Aiden Beerline get too far out of his sight. Caution back on the speedway.
Well, just as I was showing on board down to the bottom right of Logan Rumsey, and then we were watching the battle on for what was 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th position. But I guess we can look at that here in just a few moments' time. Let's see if we can figure out what the cause of our second yellow was. Still drawing blanks at this stage. Not sure as to what is the reason for the caution. There's a car slow there on the bottom. No? Anyhow. Couldn't quite pick it. That's the only thing about our timing scoring, what we're using right now, Steve, is the fact that, well, it doesn't show us. Actually, I wonder if it shows it here.
It's like those SRX fun flags.
Gavin Chatham and Jason Haynes, I think it may have been. Anyhow, the moment's gone. Steve, 22 to go at the line once we go back to green. And, well, Aiden Beerline, I'm going to say, who'd you pick, Steve? You picked Tim Ryan. I went with Beerline. Drake, who'd you go with? Was it Rumsey?
I went with Rumsey.
Yeah, so we're
glad to see we were all lazy and picked the first 3 starters that are still running at the front.
Yeah, I know.
That's some quality media content right there for Ultimate Dirt TV. That's why Brett pays us the big bucks, right, Steve?
That's right. Lights are out. We'll just go back green flag racing, Brett.
I'm still trying to figure out where these bucks are coming from because I need some dollars. Anyhow, back to green, 22 to run. With Aiden Beerline, Logan Rumsey, Tim Ryan, 1, 2, and 3 as we work down through 1 and 2. It's going to be Beerline continuing to lead the way, 3/10 of a second right there over Rumsey. Rumsey, well, he's had to try something different. He's gone down to the inside. We'll see if it's going to pay dividends. It's not going to pay dividends just yet, Drake, as the caution flag comes out.
Yeah, credit to Rumsey there. We saw him running that lower line through 3 and 4, and absolutely, especially with the wing cars here at Eldora, you got to try something different. It can be difficult to follow somebody with the dirty air that these race cars produce, but also if you look at across the racetrack, it's a lot darker, a lot slicker everywhere else, so that's going to give these guys a lot more options. And Rumsey definitely using all the options he's got behind the wheel of that Alpha Industries number 41, trying to chase down Beerline if we can get some green flag laps strung together. But it's going to be interesting, as I said, as the track continues to slicken off.
Well, it's all about who can survive what will be these final 21 laps in the first annual Shaun Timmerman Memorial Race here at Eldora Speedway. And you heard it earlier here tonight, $10,000 prize purse next year for the second annual running.
That's what I heard.
Huh?
That's what Drake said earlier.
Yeah, $10,000 purse. Not bad, and David Allen doesn't want this just to be a 1 or 2 year deal. He said it. He said he wants to go for 10 plus years. He wants to keep the memory and honouring his late great friend of Shaun Timmerman as the lights are out. Drake, 21 to go. Aiden Beerline, well, since he's got to the lead, the question still remains, what is that 41 of Logan Rumsey? What has the 98 got of Tim Ryan? And while we go back just a little further, Aiden Forson in 20 car, James Edens in the 52. Have those guys got something for your race leader, Aiden Beerline?
It still could be anybody's race at the front of this field as Beerline diamonds off the high side of turn number 4, back to the green. Rumsey going to stay with him through 1 and 2. Tim Ryan with a good run on the bottom side of 1 and 2, going to stay back in third as they race up the backstretch.
Left of the screen, Aiden Beerline, your race leader. Down to the bottom right is second place driver on board with Logan Rumsey. So you're getting a good look at how these guys are getting around the Eldora Speedway, the virtual Eldora Speedway here on the first annual Shaun Timmerman Memorial Race. Rumsey down to the inside. Steve off for turn number 4. He's still not getting the run off turn 4. Aiden Beerline still has it up on the top side of the racetrack.
Off turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Beerline continues to lead. Rumsey, Ryan, Forrester, Edens rounds out your top 5. And how about Adam Elby moving up to that 6th position? But up front, you're looking at the 41 of Rumsey. And this time going turn number 3, Brett, he changes his line, goes to the highest line on 3 and 4.
Yeah, maybe you're thinking that it's better off just to go upstairs and just ride around the cushion. Ryan still running down to the low side through 1 and 2. He'll now give up the podium position. Aiden Forster moves his way to position number 3. Now Tim Ryan going to move up the racetrack right in front of the 52 car of James Edens. And back to there is his teammate right there, the 74 car of Adam Elby. Elby cops a slider from Giglio as Edens puts a slider there on Tim Ryan down the back straightaway now.
On the Speedway.
Now that was one car going to the pits. I believe that is Kenny Hoffman it is. And that's the reason for our caution. Just gets up over the left rear and around he goes. I believe that was David Allen who he may have gotten into the back of. There we go. I figured out that caution. That one was easy.
What's that? 2 out of 3 ain't bad, is the saying, right, Brett?
I've got about 1 out of 4.
We'll take it.
Yeah.
Better than my test scores usually.
Yeah, tell you who's got a bad test score, Riley Stewart. Now he'll get that joke. So I'm pretty sure his old man will get that joke, and I appreciate a good laugh.
Oh, he's the one I hounded on your farm simulator game.
Was it?
It was.
I don't know, Steve. You hound on everybody. It's hard to keep up on who you hound right now.
That's true.
Although I got to say, you've been pretty quiet the last couple of months.
I have a lot of time to rest. Now I think I need new glasses from Santa.
Ho ho ho! Hey.
And I don't know what words to wake up to on Christmas morning. Socks or new glasses. Those are the front runners for Christmas 2023.
All right, there you go.
Well, you know what's bad? I will tell you what's bad. Mine glasses are at work, and I thought I don't need them tonight. Now I'm regretting.
Or how wrong you were, and how wrong you are. All right, Beerline. Well, speaking of 13s, Riley Stewart knows all about the 13s. Aiden Beerline going to get us back to the green flag. 15 laps left to run. Main event time in the first annual Shaun Timmerman Memorial Race. Logan Rumsey right with Aiden Beerline through 1 and 2 here on the restart. Rumsey's got the wing pulled right back. He goes down to the low side. Big slide jump for the race lead, Drake.
First challenge for Beerline up front is Logan Rumsey. Rumsey has to tuck back in line through 1 and 2, but as you mentioned, great observation there, Brent. The wing pulled in the trunk almost for Logan Rumsey on that restart, about as far back as you'll see a wing here at Eldora. Beerline diamonds off the top. Here comes Aiden Forrester in the 20. It's a 3-car race with 14 to go. In the words of Pat Sullivan, it is winning time here at Eldora.
No, I'd love to say what Jerry Vansicle says, but I can't give you an "oh doctor." But I'll tell you what, we may just need one right now because these final 12 laps are really going to shake and bake things up here at Eldora. Rumsey again back to the cushion, back to the yellow is out.
Is it Blingo or
Giglio?
Giglio?
Maybe.
I think so.
Possibly. Let's have a look. I mean, yeah, it is. Good eye, Steve. Who says you need glasses?
I just saw Blake. I was like, I don't know who Blake who.
Looks like he got a tag in the tail tank there from Stewart in the 40. Fortunately for Giglio, no one got into him off of 4, and we saw there on the replay there was a couple of close calls, but good news for both those drivers. They'll be able to continue on. Unfortunately for Giglio, getting the short end of the stick, he'll have to tag the tail here with now 12 laps to go in the inaugural Shaun Timmerman Memorial. But up front, the race for the lead got good between Beerline and Rumsey. Rumsey was really the first guy all night to challenge Aiden Beerline for that race lead.
I think it's been a case of just, like I said, if these guys are, running, 0.7 gallons a lap, you times that by 45, you're going to need like nearly 32 gallons. You can only fill these race cars to 30 gallons, so you have to save fuel somewhere. Not to mention you had your 3 roll-around laps, or technically 5 because you 3 roll-around laps before we went green, but then the 2 iRacing pace laps before that as well. So not that it takes all that much. It probably took about half a gallon extra, but you still got to have that extra gallon. And so you're looking at what should have been 33 gallons of fuel in the race cars to get around if you were to hold it flat, flat chatting. Well, fortunately for these guys with the tyre wear, with how slick it is, that they're not going to be using that 0.7 gallons of a lap. And I think I touched on that with what Tim Ryan was able to do in the first 20 laps, where he was just rolling the bottom. He was saving the tyres and saving the fuel. And now he's got himself, for the final, what will be 11 laps, Drake, as we come to the green, he's got a good chance at winning this one as well.
Say the top 5 right now still have a good chance at winning this one. All drivers that are forces to be reckoned with on the surface. Let's see if Rumsey's got anything. Beerline maybe expecting a slider in 3 and 4. They all go to the wall in 1 and 2. Forrester Ryan now has jumped up to the high side. A Beerline with a big enough lead that where Rumsey can't challenge off at turn number 4. Make it 10 laps to go this time at the stripe. 11 to go. And now, I'm all over the place with the ticker. Up front, Beerline and Rumsey continue to lead the charge.
Beerline running a different line. He gets to the middle of 3 and 4, cuts it right back through the middle on the exit of turn number 4. So figuring that, well, he's got a bit of a gap. He's going to try something different to make sure that he's still going to be He's still going to be able to hold on to the number 1 position. Forcer again closes in on the back of Logan Rumsey through 3 and 4. 8 laps left to go, Steve, here in the first annual Shaun Timmerman Memorial race.
Definitely right now. You look at Rumsey and Forster. Forster in that 3rd spot. He's losing a little bit of ground there to Logan Rumsey as they come off a turn number 4 down the straightaway. And Tim Ryan and James Edens now battling side by side. Ryan into the wall a little bit there off of turn number 2. Now Ryan goes to the bottom. Edens goes to the high side. Caution back out on the speedway.
Who you got on that one, Steve?
I didn't see that one.
All right. Ooh. Hoffman? Kaiser? Oh! I spotted it. I just got to figure out who it was.
There it is. Oh.
That's John Helms.
Might have been Helms, right? Yeah, I was going to say John Helms. Just a big stack up there on the front stretch. And Helms, another one of the drivers getting the short end of the stick as the front end impacted that turn 1 wall, which as you can see right there, that last shot Brett had was pretty good idea of what the wall looks like going into turn number 1. It's a little bit out there in the sense that it can come up and grab you if you're not expecting it. So tough break for one of the Shaun Timmerman cars of Dave Helms out of the, or at least let's see, I believe he's headed back to the work area. So
he's done.
I would say John Helms. Yeah, John Helms is done. So tough break for one of the 2 Shaun Timmerman cars in the running tonight here at the Shaun Timmerman Memorial. But Aiden Beerline still holding serve at the front of this field with 7 laps to go.
And it'll be 6 once we go back green. But I got to say, we started with 29, and we're going to be 34 laps in. We started with 29, and we've still got 25 on the racetrack. We've only lost 4. It's not a bad conversion rate considering with the amount of cars and with the amount of laps that we've had, Drake.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We've seen a lot more attrition come into play in races like this as Beerline launches it from the high side, brings the whole field down with him. Back to the green flag. Now 6 laps left to run here at the Big E. Rumsey trails by about 2 car lengths, now making about 3 or 4 down the backstretch as Beerline continues to be good here on the restarts.
I don't think anyone is going to catch Aiden Beerline. He might just take this 13A machine to victory lane. But I'll tell you what, Logan Rumsey is going to want to take that away from him right now as Rumsey dies it down to the inside. Slide jump for the race lead. Beerline's seen it coming. He turns it back underneath him. Beerline still with 4 to go, Steve. He leads this one.
Beardline leads them out on turn number 2 down to the back straightaway with Logan Rumsey and Forster, your top 3. Tim Ryan still running the inside line as he's currently running that 6th position. Coming to 4 laps to go, Brett.
Well, 4 to go for your race leader, Forster and Rumsey. They go at it for 2nd and 3rd as they let Aiden Beerline get away. Drake, 2 to go, tip of the green.
That's exactly what Aiden Beerline wants to see. He wants to see Forrester and Rumsey throwing bombs at each other as he continues to pull away. He turns for the white flag off at turn number 4. 1 lap to go in the inaugural Shaun Timmerman Memorial for Aiden Beerline.
Beerline's got it through turn number 1, not for turn number 2. Down the back straight away for the final time. The first annual Shaun Timmerman Memorial Race. Your main event winner is going to be Aiden Beerline. Logan Rumsey home in 2nd. 3rd will go to Aiden Forster. Ryan Navilla comes home in position number 4. James Eden's going to lose 5th to Chase Stewart there. So Chase Stewart will get a top 5. We'll take a look here at your official results and official standings in the Shaun Timmerman Memorial Race. Aiden Beerline victorious here from the Eldora Speedway. Logan Rumsey, Aiden Forster. We'll chat to those three drivers, I should say, post-race. Ryan Villa, Chase Stewart will be your top 5. James Edens, Tanner Pettit, Adam Elby, Garrett Halsey, and Tim Ryan. Drake, your top 10. Who comes home in 11th through to 20th?
11th will go to Ty Showblock, 12th to Sean English, 13th Rylan Gray, 14th Connor Dudek, 15th is Riley Stewart, 16th Dylan Ayler, 17th Jason Randolph, 18th Blake Giglio, 19th Casey Simmons, and rounding out your top 20, Ross Kaiser.
Steve, in the final 9 spots, who are they?
Kenneth Hoffman will round out 21st, 22nd be Matt Grime, but then you got Ryan Padgett there, finishing 23rd. 24th be David Allen. 25th be Eric Whitner. 26th be John Helms. 27th Gunnar Harris. 28th be Matthew Powell. And Evan C. will come home in 29th position tonight.
Well, there we go. It is done and dusted. The first annual Shaun Timmerman Memorial Race is done with Aiden Beerline getting the win over Logan Rumsey and Aiden Forster. Steve McMillan, we'll send it down to you. We'll chat to the man that comes home in 3rd place tonight. That is Aiden Forster.
Well, congratulations, Aiden Forster, on your 3rd place finish tonight. Looked like he had a little bit forward Logan Rumsey at certain points throughout the night. Just couldn't get to him.
Yeah, the car came in really good at the end, and luckily we had a car that we could possibly contend for a win with there, but just circumstances, we started 4th and kind of rode around there the whole race and tried to throw a few things in Rumsey there, but couldn't quite clear them, and came out with a 3rd, but it's still good finish considering the amount of drivers that entered this race, so happy with it.
Did you have to save any on tires or fuel?
We saved a little fuel during the middle of the race. Other than that, we pretty much hammered the whole time, put enough fuel in. But tires weren't really a concern. Kind of kept them under us the whole time, and I didn't really feel fall off there.
Definitely. Coming home in the 3rd spot, I mean, got to mean something to you tonight.
Yeah, this is a special event. I mean, it's a cool deal. All of them have done, all the admins have done putting this on, and hopefully next year we can come back and do a little better.
Definitely. Go ahead and thank those fine sponsors making it all possible for you.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Speedshot51.com, Trackside Collective, Tanner Pettit for the setups. He puts in a lot of time during the week and gets us rolling on setups, and couldn't do without him.
That is Aiden Forster coming home in 3rd spot, Brett.
All right.
2nd place.
All right, we'll chat to the man that comes home into the runner-up position tonight in the first annual Shaun Timmerman Memorial Race. It's going to be the 41 car of Logan Rumsey. Logan, congratulations on this 2nd place. And, well, probably one that got away from you there late in that one. But, boy, I tell you what, as always, you showed some real consistent speed in the 41. You come home in 2nd spot. You've got to be happy with that one.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. It was a pretty stacked field up there, so it feels good to run with those guys. Aiden's he works with Bergeron and stuff, and they're usually really good. And he showed tonight. They were just, I could run a couple laps better than him, but then his consistency, just running really good laps every lap, just prevailed there. Just couldn't really catch him. I tried to throw a slider on him, and he just drove back by me. I was trying to do the old slide jobs daily, but I just got too far back, and ended up running 2nd there. But I still had a lot of fun.
Hey, you look back at it now, and was there anything that you could have done differently? Whether it was a point in this part of this race, or anything that you could have done differently? Because I noticed with about 15 to go, you looked like you had the wing right in the trunk, and it looked like it was pretty tight.
Yeah, I definitely could have won if I just a couple laps I'd hit it really good, and 3 and 4 I'd really just get up against the wall and carry a lot of speed. But it was so hard, and I don't really have much good laps around here on the top. I usually really suck, so it's kind of we're just trying to get better here. And I'd hit a good couple laps, and the next lap I'd screw up and lose a couple tenths. So can't be doing that. We're trying to beat the best in the game.
Well, second place here tonight. Hopefully we see you back next year for a $10,000 purse at the second annual Shaun Timmerman Memorial Race. But for the first annual, you come home with the runner-up finish. Logan, we'll let you thank everybody involved on this 41 car.
Yeah, I just got to thank everyone for putting up this race, all the M9 guys, Dave. I'm not sure who else promoted it, just all the M9 guys, I guess. And it's great to honor a great person that was really good at this game. He probably would have won this race if he was in it. So just great to honor someone like that. And you guys are broadcasting it too.
There we go. Logan Rumsey home in second spot. Drake York, you're caught up in victory lane with our race winner tonight, the Aiden Beerline.
Aiden Beerline, the winner of the inaugural Shaun Timmerman Memorial. And Aiden, starting on the front row, you led the majority of this race. And with the track changing so much, how difficult is it to adjust a race car? Because it can be challenging to adjust a race car for a 30-lap feature event, but much less a 45-lap feature event. How do you have to attack that, not only with your driving style, but with the setup as well?
Well, I think first off, driving style, you got to be really consistent, and that's what I was just trying to do. And man, those cautions did not help. Every time I'd get like 5 laps going, caution come out, and then I would get back in a rhythm. It'd take me 5 laps again. But once we got the green flag at the end, I was ecstatic because I was able to get in a rhythm and to hit my marks. And yeah, on the setup part, it's just testing, man. I mean, if you test on a track that's like, you know what to do, and that's what I did last night, and we accomplished it in the win.
Logan Rumsey threw a couple of sliders at you, but it seemed like every time he got past you, you were able to come back at him with ease. What made it so easy for you to come back at him every time?
I think just 3 and 4 cut down line was so strong, and then eventually I started running that line as a full-time line and I moved away from the top, and I mean, the track was just so racy, and I'm just happy I qualified second to start up front and be able to pass Tim early on and just hold on from there.
Obviously, this being the inaugural running of the Shaun Timmerman Memorial, a guy that a lot of people enjoyed racing with, a lot of people had a good time on this service with. So to be the first winner of his memorial race, how special is that?
Oh man, it's special. I mean, me and him race against each other all the time in competitive leagues, and we were always 1-2 battling it out. And it's sad not to have him on the service anymore. And man, I feel bad for the family and everyone involved, everyone close to him. I unfortunately only got to talk to him once, but I got to race against him many times, and he was always a blast to race against.
Aiden Beerline, your winner of the inaugural Shaun Timmerman Memorial here at the Big E.
Thank you.
I would love to tell you that I finished in 24th on purpose for Shaun's number 24, but that's just simply not true. The whole night has just been emotional for me. I couldn't focus on anything, and I'm not making excuses. I just didn't drive good. So I appreciate things that you guys have done. You put on an amazing broadcast. The family is ecstatic. We couldn't be more happier with the way things turned out. I know there might be some people that, didn't, there's things that happened during the race or they didn't agree with or anything, but the bottom line is we were out here for one purpose, and that was to honor Shaun. It wasn't out here to see who, to promote the guy that won or first, second, third. Obviously, we're proud of those guys. They did a hell of a job. racing up front there. I got to see a little bit of it. I can't wait to go back and watch the broadcast from start to finish. And just want to thank everybody that came out, because again, this doesn't happen without all those people that were on the track today. There's so many people involved. I want little to no credit, to be honest with you, for this, because it doesn't happen without everybody on iRacing, the family, you guys for sure. You devoted your time to do this and took time away from your family. So from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate everybody for everything that they've done.
Dave, we certainly look forward to coming back next year, October 24, 25, 26 for a $10,000 purse and a guarantee to see who will take out the second annual running of the Shaun Timmerman Memorial Race. But for everyone here on at Ultimate Dirt TV, on behalf of Steve McMillan, Drake York, I am Brett Wheeler, we say farewell, good night. Congratulations to Aidan Beerline, who is now your first annual Shaun Timmerman Memorial Race feature winner. Good night.